Okay. What is up, everybody? What we doing? Welcome to another episode of Tour Tuesdays. Clean my glasses. Wow, I sound old. I need to get LASIK. This sucks. I hate glasses. They're the worst. One thing going while I do this. Ooh. What's up, Lude? Welcome in, Peasant. Welcome in, Ducky. It's going good. It's Tour Tuesday. I mean, it's got to be a good day, right? Holy cow, these are disgusting. What's up, Shep? Welcome in. How we doing, everybody? So excited for you to see our base tonight. Hope you are well. Welcome. Sorry, these are horrible. I definitely don't need glasses to see. Except the screens are blurry. So it's tour time. Yeah. Let's go. Kesha, which one was yours again? All right, there's so many people with different names. I can never remember everyone. I remember talking to you last time, but I can never put the whole thing together. Yes, Ducky, you're today. Don't worry. Shep is finishing up his Witcher 3 edit. Ooh. One thing off. Quick, and then oh, it was off. Never mind. My brain was ahead of myself. Baggins, yes. Yes. Fourth. Put in as much work as I could for now on the base, but definitely need to update to finish it. I'm burnt out. Yeah, that typically is how it goes, honestly. I remember when I was setting up a tour with See-Through, I built on that pagoda base, I built almost the entire upper section before that whole stream I did with it, or not stream, before the video. Welcome in, joiner. Welcome. You're second, Ducky. Number 2. What's up, Alfredo? How's it going? Your base popping, peasant? Yeah, it's part of the game. I grinded that I spent 2 full weeks, like, non-stop building to try to get that base as perfect as possible. And here we are today. It was worth the effort. It was absolutely worth the effort. That's for sure. But it can be a grind at times. Le pasta. Okay, first up we have Shastia. Yeah? Hope I said that right. Got a bit of a banger for a start. It's pretty good. Looked at a couple of these today. We're going in pretty blind. Wait, what about Shep? Food? Second Shep's comment. There's some designs in there we have not seen yet. Okay. Like in an apple ice. I gotta look that up. Excited to see everyone's base. Yeah, what about Peasant's base popping? Oh. Sorry, my brain is all over the place. It's been one of those days, you know? Good day, but long day. Shasta. That? Aphid King, let's go. What's up, chap? Welcome, welcome. Still needs work, but I did change a lot. Just need all the interiors and add more detail everywhere. Hey, that's all good. Brain can't brain today? Yeah, brain too much. There's too much brain. If I can say that. There's too much thinking today, you know? One of those days. Welcome in, Grim. But yeah, nothing wrong with having bases that aren't necessarily done. It's all good. It is part of what, part of the fun. Whoa. Look how his glasses show. That's how I feel. You want to look epic, but you wear glasses. We're good. Drinking my Coke. Trying to get some caffeine in me. Get that energy up, you know? This is definitely still a work in progress. Did you watch the live with the new updates coming for the winter with the trees and lights? Yes, I did watch the Casually Grounded today. Very excited. I'm really excited that they're going to be doing the little update beforehand. I think that's going to be very timely. It's really nice to have like a mini update so we have something to chew on a little bit, you know? Not just like sitting here waiting for January. We get a little something, people can kind of play the game, performance gets better, a couple more items, fix some of those issues that aren't like everyone talking about like armor dummies and stuff not holding their stance, their positions and stuff, like those little things that you can't necessarily work on when you're trying to add like half of the map in an update or a massive new boss with new fighting fighting the entire Axel boss in every way, like when you're adding those new big things that are like game changing. It's nice to have those that time for little updates to fix the things that like are annoying people more, so it'll be good. Welcome in, Fear. Small details make a big difference. Yes, for sure. Yeah, I'm really excited. Just the little things, you know? Every step we can make to stop the haters from complaining about everything not being exactly how they want it right as the start makes it better and better. But I'm really excited about the little lights and stuff, and I can only imagine that we're getting Christmas trees and Christmas lights, like we're gonna get some other cool stuff too. That's just what they're showing us, you know? Lots to go from. I have not heard from Rad at all. I reached out, but I have not heard anything. So hoping the best. Thumbnail looks crazy. Some awesome, amazing base tours tonight. Yeah, there's some good ones. And those were just the first 4 that I randomly selected. Like, I don't necessarily pick for the stream thumbnails. I don't necessarily pick... I don't go through and try to pick the best ones. I just kind of pick 4, and those are the ones that go in the thumbnail for these ones. Yeah, if you hear anything, Ducky, let me know. Let me know from him. But I guess we can just get into it. Mint spray to help cough my brains out still. Haters, what are those? Never heard of them, right? Lude, we've never had any haters. Wash it down with that Coke. Well, the issue is it's mint flavored, so now it doesn't make the Coke taste good. But it really helps me not cough as much, so take what I can get. And if I drink the Coke, then it's like not cooling my throat anymore, so then it's like defeating the purpose. time sooner than... I see. All right, are we ready? Is everyone good? Everyone got their popcorn, snacks, a drink, the good stuff, whatever you need? Chair. Ah. It's like, why am I so reclined? Change in weather also has you sick. Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't even the change in weather. It was my wife's mom and her husband got us sick. So rude. So rude. It's not fun. So over being sick. You missed the dog, I know. Only he'll be back tomorrow, for sure. I'm forcing him to come up. Also, I don't know if you guys are interested. Sorry to kind of change the subject, but I'm looking at some pet-specific affiliate opportunities as well, so we can make the dog a bigger part of the channel. Maybe we can throw in some different commands so people could give him a specific toy or a specific treat or something like that, and then we can test them out for other... I know there's a lot of people with dogs and pets in the channel, so it'd be kind of fun to like try out some dog products and see how things look, see how people like them, see if they're dog approved. That could be kind of fun. Jar of peanut butter, yeah, he would love that.
About my mineral intake.
That would make him very happy. That could be fun. And then I could get you guys some... A lot of the stuff is like... I could get you guys 20% off of orders or whatever. So, could work out for everyone. You guys get deals. We get to try out fun pet stuff. Be fun. Okay. Whole jar. Get that winter coat going. Oh, jeez. Get that throwing up in the middle of the night. Be like a spoon of peanut butter. Or a peanut butter treat. That would make more sense. Open it for it to get a little lighter. You just wait another minute or two. It's a little lighter out. Still hard to see. Ready? Let's go. Okay. We could do it. I think it's light enough. I think there's lights up there. All right. Will do, Ducky. Will do. It's so good at night. Okay. All good. All right. First up, we have Shasta. Do I say the Y or no? Is it Shasta or Shast? Ya? Is it or ya? Ya. Shasta. All right, first up, Shasta. Okay, cool. All good. All right, let's get into it. All right, first up for tonight, we have Shasta. This base is located over in the Ceremony Rock kind of area. New little location. I haven't necessarily, I guess, up here, of course, but another one totally different. I don't know. It's totally different than anything we've seen. It'll be a fun one in this area, at least. So let's get into it. Love the mood lighting so far, gotta say. The red's a nice touch. The arches are nice too. Kind of like those more than the ones I made. I'd have to mess with the foundations on top. It's kind of nice. Love the lighting in these too. That always looks really nice. Oh, and this goes over the spider web. Interesting. I was wondering. I like the little gap you made here. Honestly, I always fill this kind of stuff in, but it's kind of nice. Anything fancy around here? Cool light wall. And looks like you're messing with a couple grids here, so that's awesome. Always love to see it. There's just something so nice. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I've always really liked the like foundation pathways that are off grid. We've seen a lot of different iterations of it and stuff, but it just adds like so much so much interesting stuff to a design. I don't even know how to explain it. Brain's not braining super well tonight. But it's just one of those things. Like, I always enjoy like a path that's going like a different direction than the rest of the build. It just adds like so much detail to the whole thing. All right, going here first. Ooh, got a nice little lit throne room with the buggies and everything, with all the stuffed bug head mounts and stuff. Very nice. Ah, that's what we were looking at. I like it. I like it. Some scorpions growling at us. Gotta say, loving the lighting so far. Absolutely love these. I love that everyone started doing this. I need to mess with these. That looks so cool. The lighting just works so well on them for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it looks great. Gotta love a good throne room. Oh, geez. I would have walked right past that if I didn't accidentally notice that. It looks great, too. The light. I'm drawn to the light. Great start so far. I love a well-lit base. This is like one of the things that just lighting over everything. All right, so just so everyone can see, especially since we know how cool the base is at night. We've already heard. Gotta say, your lighting is phenomenal. Really like the different lighting stuff you've done with in this whole base. This looks awesome too. Wow. The different colors and everything all looks really, really nice. Like how the tops of the builds are like a bluish color, and then everything else kind of uses different colors. That's really nice too. And like each side has a different color theme to it. Is really well done. Gotta say, I love that. We'll get more views of it up at during the daytime and stuff too. This path. Gotta say, love the lanterns as well. With the like light posts. So nice. We will not go out there. I hear a bunch of scorpions. Got little buggy houses and stuff right there. Love that. This looks too good. There you go. That lighting looks really nice. I'm a big fan of that. The underlit foundations. So nice. Everyone wanting to steal the light and grass designs and everything. We don't steal. It's not stealing. When people have good ideas, we share. We share our ideas, you know? I like that you've done like each of these slightly different too. That's really cool. Like just enough that each side is its own like design and everything, which is really fun. Just a slightly different iteration on a similar idea I think is really cool. The green grass with the green lighting looks so good too. Let's go on the front one before I get too excited. Ooh, look at that! Wow, dude, this is epic. This is super cool. Yeah, Japanese style build. They said specifically, I think this was the one, they took a lot of inspiration from Niles and Pasta, maybe one other one as well, on some of the really cool Japanese style architecture, which I think you've knocked it out of the park. I love seeing that it's similar, but it's also very different at the same time. Welcome in Crimson as well. Hope you're having a great night. But again, the lighting in here, again, phenomenal. It's really clean. Like we've seen chandeliers and stuff, and some of them are get a little crazy. I like how it's just simple, but you almost have like a reverse chandelier. Not totally sure what it is, but I like it. Is it like an art installation? And like everyone's like sitting here like pondering it like it's modern art. Feels very much like an art museum. A rock crystal. Honestly, it really gives the effect. I love it. The lighting even, funnily enough, like for it being made out of stems, like it does kind of give crystal vibes, like as good as you can possibly get right now with the materials we have. It really does kind of give like a crystal rock vibe. It's a really well done job on that.
But I worry about my mineral intake.
Very cool. I think it's just the whole thing. What? Bed up there? Oh, we can go down. We go down or up first? We go up? Go up. You go down to go up? I like it. It looks really cool. We'll go down first. See what happens. All right. Nice. Very nice to kind of hide like your functional stuff down here underneath. That's really cool. Just keep hearing scorpions and stuff. Glowing limestone vibes. Yeah, definitely. Got a nice little spot for all your different things. Very well done. Nice that it reaches all the chests and stuff upstairs. I like that you even brought this like down into the floor as well. That's really well done. Well done. More storage. Gotta love a little backlit triangle piece. Also very nice that you can like get to each one of these areas. Very, very cool. And like each one of the colors comes down on each side too. Like you've really committed, I think is what I like. Kind of decided like colors would be cool and you've really stuck with it, which I really like. But great job putting the functional stuff just right down underneath. Oop. Go back up. Where am I? There we go. Then you just got your bed chilling out here. Love it. Just like a random bounce elevator just to get to your bed. This is the kind of crazy design I love to see. So unnecessary, but so good at the same time. Because like stairs would have really ruined the like interior of this. It would have added so much to a small space, so it looks really good. It's like, those are the fun decisions where it's like, not everything has to be like super realistic and functional and make total sense. Like if you want to put your bed up out of the way to make the centerpiece stand out more, I think that's like a great way to do it. Very well done. Went through several iterations. Yeah, love to hear it. Was there a lower area over in this building that I potentially missed? Or anything? Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Through the map. I mean, I found an entrance. On accident. I even, funny enough, I found that before you even said it. I just had a feeling, you know? I had a feeling. Aha, there it is. Oh, okay. Again, the effort of doing all the lighting for stuff that's like completely hidden away just for mushrooms and stuff is also really well done. Oh, that's a bounce elevator too. Okay. Nice little tiered garden, just kind of hidden away. I think you've done a really good job like hiding the kind of boring details of a base in like fun ways that you just wouldn't necessarily expect. I think that's really cool. Just seen that. Wait. There we go. Aha. Very well done. Welcome in, Lionson. How you doing? Doing great. Loving it. I love that all of those are little bounce web towers. That's nice. All right. Did I see everything? Did I miss anything, Jastia? Gotta say, the Japanese architecture designs with these axle toes, I don't know why it works as well as it does, but it really works well. Just looks nice. Got most everything? Perfect. Okay, so why don't we just get right into the grading of it? We saw everything, it all looks so nice. Kind of an unassuming build, like it's so much bigger than it looks like at first glance. I like that you hid, like you built everything up, because normally all becomes wasted space and stuff. So I like that you had a vision of raising these up and creating like a flat space for them, but then you decided to actually utilize that space and not just kind of ignore it and waste it. I think it looks really nice. But, so, first impressions. And again, just a reminder for everyone, we did change the grading system. So we are now grading out of 10. Again, all for fun. The whole goal of going out of 10 is I can be maybe a little bit more strict in how I'm grading things, because I want you guys to have something to go off of to get better. Every base is a 10 out of 10 in my book for the effort it takes to build them. But everyone, including myself, can get better at these designs. So it's definitely not a reflection on how much effort you put in or anything. Everything looks good. All bases are amazing, but we can all improve and better ourselves at the end of the day. So that's part of the goal. So first impressions. I'm going to have to give you a 9 out of 10. I think 10s are going to be really hard to come by, but it's really nice. It's kind of, I love that it's unassuming. Your lighting is honestly incredible. It's some of my favorite lighting we've seen. It's one of those things, like lighting is so important in this game, and I think it's so often overlooked. But then once you see something like this and you see how it can like reflect off of these different materials and how you've been kind of messing with the way the different colors of lights look with the different pieces themselves, like green with grass, red with clay. I think those are all like really cool. Like yellow with the weed stem. They're all like very fitting colors. So I really like the effort that you put in to kind of figure out how this whole thing's gonna look visually with the lighting, because it does. It just like, it's a nice path, but without that like crazy like lava red glow, it just doesn't create the same like epic effect of going up. So it's really well done. The layout and interior, honestly, again, really, really good job on the layout. And it's super simple. It's not the biggest base in the world, but you've crammed a lot into a little space. And there's kind of like two thoughts the way I look at this kind of stuff. You either integrate the functional things into the base, or you find a way to sort of hide the functional stuff in a clever way. And I think you've done a really good job kind of hiding away those things. I mean, of course, you've got some of the
Nothing like
easy to get to things like dew collectors and all your armor, chests and all that. But the hardest thing is like, where do you put pallets? Where do you put those like the large items that are just in the way? They don't look good, the jerky racks. And so I think it does look very nice. Just kind of having this stuff hidden away, but it's still all close enough that everything is like reaching the chests and the crafting stations. So it's a really clever little kind of hidden trick to put everything down here. Because you've done a good job making it functional, but you're also kind of telling the story and the visual design that you're trying to do without letting the functional things of a survival base like take away from the design that you've done. So I think it's a really good job on the layout, and I definitely think I would give you a 9 on the layout. I don't necessarily think there's a whole lot that I would change in terms of the layout. And like the interiors alone, all the little designs, all the lighting from outside is done very well on the inside as well. But I think that's really, really well done. Definitely a fan. Interiors can be really hard in this game because there's so many items and it can get cluttered very quickly, but you've done a good job kind of highlighting different things with lighting and everything. And then, as I said, like hiding the stuff that doesn't necessarily add visually to the base away is really well done. And I'm guessing these are like your 4 favorite like weapons and classes and stuff, and that's why these ones are shown off here, which I think is a cool little effect. I think it looks really nice. The materials and exterior, also very, very well done. Part of materials and exterior is lighting, and you've knocked that out of the park. Very little I can say in terms of like how I would change this. I think you've taken some of the best parts of some of the other Japanese style architecture that we've seen, but you've managed to make it your own in a similar way that like Niles use these pieces as well on their base, I feel the visual effect is it's the same, but it does look very unique to your build specifically. It wasn't just let me just copy that whole design that someone else did, but you took kind of the cool elements and then you've turned them into your own thing, which I'm always a huge advocate for. Utilizing other people's idea. I mean, that's the whole goal, right? When we're looking at these things, the goal is that we inspire each other, we give cool ideas, we show fun stuff off to other people, and then that in turn helps everyone else get better at the end of the day. So it's all about how can we all use the same sort of concepts and techniques, but in our own little versions of it, and how that can turn out to be a totally different build. Even though this is like, we've seen a couple Japanese style builds before, like I feel like yours in many ways, just the little details like cutting out these corners and stuff, instead of just sticking with like you did a square build on the bottom and then you slowly started to like taper it in and not just continuing with squares, but I think using the angled pieces here to create a slightly different design than this design, but even so, like mimicking what I'm always a big fan of, and I think the hardest thing to do is when you're building multiple buildings is not just copy pasting multiple buildings into the overall build so everything just kind of repeats, but how do you take a design element from one building and transfer it over to another without them looking like an exact carbon copy of it? And I think that's a big win on the way you've laid this out, kind of designed it, and you've kind of taken some of the proportions and made this one a little bit bigger, a little smaller, but you're still following these kind of like design decisions you've made, which I think is a really good like design decision. As a designer myself, I think that's the kind of stuff I love seeing. Even like how you're mixing and matching different materials. You've created a really nice palette of materials here as well, which I think is part of the fun. That's always one of the hard things, is not using one material, but not using too many materials. You have just enough kind of like thrown in here and there to sort of break up these like huge pebble foundation structures that you built to kind of raise everything up. So I think that's on both sides, in terms of using the inside of the pebble foundations and the outside of them the way you have, I think looks really nice. And again, the difference of each side being its own like lighting opportunity, I think is also really fun. It definitely would look maybe too repetitive if each one of these was exactly the same style. So I think that's a really good job. And like the trees, break it up a little bit more. I think that's all really well done. If I didn't give you a score on the exterior, I think I'd give you a 9 on this one. Super clean. It's not overwhelming. You have just enough like windows and stuff added to the outside that I think it looks really nice. The Mant statues would be phenomenal in this build. Yes, those would look so good. The lighting and everything. Yeah. I love it's simple. There's a lot going on, but you've also managed to kind of keep things very simple and clean, which I'm a big fan of. It's very easy to get just into too many designs. I've fallen for it myself, where I get way into adding texture and depth and too much stuff, and it can be a little visually overwhelming. But I think this is a very like clean aesthetic, just busy enough to look interesting, but simple enough not to like visually overwhelm your eye. Very nice. The structure, that one, super easy. You've done a great job. I mean, building this all up, everything feels very structurally sound, which I think is fun. But then you've utilized the structure at the same time, which I think is the more important thing that I would say here. I mean, you've got the fun arches. Those are kind of structural, but in the big sense of this, the structure is really the foundation, and you've found a good way. There are some spots maybe that are a little large in scale on the foundation side. So maybe a little bit of an improvement is potentially like breaking up some of these bigger portions and maybe like bringing one of these like out here, or like in the middle here, do like a quarter block and do another grass strip or something, and just like even jump into it even a little bit more. Dive into like the things you're doing, I think would potentially take it just one step higher, even if it's like a quarter piece, like here, like a red strip and a green strip and a purple and a yellow, of course, like one in between these, or however you might make it work. But I think it looks really nice. And I mean, the stairs on both sides are done really well. They feel very hefty and big, which I think when you're building up on top of a rock, it makes a lot of sense, because at some point you can't just place a massive building just like perched weirdly on the top of a structure. I think you've done a good job like grounding this to the rock itself that you're building on, so it doesn't feel like just this little hut built on top of the rock, which I think we wouldn't have the same like dominating presence that this has. Like it looking from down below, it gives this really nice like large epic effect from looking at the large foundation that you built out. So I think you've done a good job doing just enough of the structural stuff to not be too ridiculous, but you've broken it up in a way that like makes it not overwhelming at the same time, if that makes any sense. This is a pretty dominating structure when you're looking at it. Sorry. Need my handy net so I can just fly everywhere. Yeah, very well done on the structure. I think I'd give you like an 8 out of 10. There are little bits and stuff that I think could add more detail. Little pieces like this that could potentially be grounded a little bit more, or even if this like continued all the way to the ground or something. And then some of these bridges maybe could be another opportunity to kind of like build maybe more of like an archway under this as well, to sort of like structurally add more detail to it. Doesn't necessarily like need that per se, but it's something to think about, I guess. Just try to give people different opportunities to look at things where they could potentially add more detail. Not that it needs it by any means, but the little pieces like that can take some of those areas that you maybe haven't paid as much attention to. I know as someone who mega builds, I often get lost in a lot of the random details that maybe aren't always as important as some of the other ones, but I really like the way you've broken this up, and it could be interesting to see some of those designs kind of like brought over here, similar to how you've used like similar bases to these buildings as well. But very well done. Left some things open to add expansions. Perfect. Yeah, lots of potential. I mean, you still have a lot of space. You could still build cool things out over these edges and stuff. Like, there's a lot of opportunity to build out more here, build more stuff down below. You could build like fun little, like a mountaintop village or something like that as well up here, where like some of these things become like more little pieces that come out, and smaller like Japanese style houses or something like that are built out on these lower areas, or depending on, I mean, it almost feels like a monastery on the top of a mountain sort of feeling, especially with the crystal kind of like rock design that you have on the inside of the building. So it'd be kind of cool to have like little monks' huts or something along those lines as well. I think those could be kind of cool little additions to just keep it going, because you got a lot of interesting stuff going on here. So I definitely like the idea of seeing more of it. Doesn't mean that it needs more, but I always like to give ideas for how you could keep going, since my goal is always to just build endlessly. Yeah, so functionality. Again, another great one. The functionality is less important than a lot of these other grading ones, but I do always like seeing how people integrate the functional things into their base. And on this one, I really enjoy how you've done the functional stuff completely separated. I tend to sort of land on this or the other option where you either integrate it or you hide it away really well. And I think you've utilized the functional pieces. That is just like, it's the perfect way to do it. I think it would really ruin the aesthetic of the whole build, having just like all sorts of jerky collectors sitting up here, and it would draw attention away from the fun design stuff you've done. So I really like how you've just like perfectly hidden all of it away. Still functions, it's still really easy to get to. All your chests can reach everything, as I had already said, but it's a great way to do it. It makes it really easy to kind of like build out a survival base without having to make it ugly for things to survive. So I'd give you let's say an 8 out of 10 on the function. I think there's some places in terms of like, it's hidden away, but some of the design of this could be pushed a little further. Not that that's important by any means, so take that with a grain of salt. But adding more function, adding more
pieces in here, maybe making this a little bit more organized, I think could be kind of nice, but it's also like not necessary. I think when I look at this space, one, I do really like that you can like see the underside of the crystal, like this is like the podium that it's sitting on. But I like the way you've sort of designed out the other section of this in this building with the great lighting and everything. So it's not necessarily a grade on function itself, but I think I like the way you integrated this function in just a little bit more than the other side, I guess, if that makes sense. Seeing the cool lighting and the mushrooms and the way you've like tiered them down, I think is a visually appealing way to do the functional stuff while also hiding it at the same time. Creates a fun little experience to like walk down here and be like, wait a second, look at this. This is a cool little like mushroom growth area. Like it's very fitting at the same time. So I think very well done. Maybe potentially you could push it just a little bit further, but I think it's also done really well. The theme and continuity, easy one here. You've got, it's all continuity. Like everything matches, the patterns work really well. You have just enough, like this is, for people wondering when I talk about continuity and builds and how to build like multiple structures in a single base, essentially, or if you're building a city or a village, whatever it may be, this is exactly what I'm talking about, where you take small elements and you replicate them into other buildings, but then something about each building is just enough different that they read as individuals. But as a whole, it reads as one well-made base. So that's exactly what I'm looking for when I'm thinking theme and continuity. I would put a 9 out of 10 just because I don't think a 10 helps anyone. I think we can all improve at the end of the day. Not that it's not phenomenal and really well built, but I think little elements, as I talked about, where like bringing this stuff over to this side a little bit more, sort of expanding upon these cool situations could be done in these like corner pieces as well. Just bumping it even a little bit further. But I really like the palette of blocks that you've chosen. Feels like there's just enough stem, just enough pine or thatch, and then call this pine. There's like just enough of each one that there's not one necessarily like dominating the others, which I think is well done. And then overall creativity, I'm gonna have to give you a 9 on that one as well. Very well done. I love the interiors. I love the multiple grids, like the creativity to hide things down beneath, the chandeliers that you've done in the upper portions, the crystal design in the center is super cool. It really does fit the like my definition of kind of what it is like a monastery or some like really cool like mountain destination that you'd have to like spend a week hiking up to see some like amazing world wonder or something like that. So I think it's a really fun way to do it. But then you've also, on the exterior, you've done a great job just messing with different designs, switching things up. It's not just like constantly repeating the same lighting pattern over and over again, which I think is also another kind of a nod to the creativity on this one that takes it to another level. It's a really good mix of detail, simplicity, really cool, really, really well done. And the potential, again, easy 9. I think, I'm not sure what a 10 potential would actually be. Probably have to have a lot less built. But I can see there's a lot of opportunity here to extend. And even this is like where you could like mess with more grids and stuff, like bringing some of these grids out, and then you could have 2 buildings on a single grid here facing like the same directions, but then you have some other random like houses or buildings of some kind kind of built out around the edges, or even like down, like clear out this grass and stuff as well. And you could kind of create some fun little like a little village at the base. Like a lot of like temples and stuff are like built up on these massive hills, and there's always like a little village underneath. So there's a lot of potential for how you could extend that and continue like more of these really nice pathways as well. It even feels like these could potentially break off and go into other directions. Like there's a lot of potential of how you could keep expanding upon this. I think it's really, really well done. Very fun build to look at. But
think that's it on this one. Really appreciate you, Shastia, for letting us take a look at this one. Really clean build, honestly. Love the whole thing. You've just enough that it's like a really compelling base, but it's also just the right amount of simplicity at the same time. It's a tough balance. I don't say simple in like a negative way by any means either. Like, I think it's a difficult challenge to do a simple, elegant little design without going over the top. It very quickly can go from like, oh, this is really nice, to like, there's a large part of the community that doesn't necessarily like the huge over the top exteriors and so many materials. And so I think this is a really nice mix of the two. Just enough complexity that there's a lot of fun little details that you don't necessarily notice right off the bat, the way you've done things, but also not visually like overwhelming at the same time. So it's a really good mix. But once again, Shastia, thank you. Awesome base. Really good job. Excited to see where you go with it in the long run, too. It'd be very cool. Very, very well done there, Shastia. Very fun base. I'm a big fan. It makes me want to do some like Japanese architecture type stuff. Okay, got Ducky next. Did I pass it? Yep. Where is it? There it is. So many bases. We good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13 left. Where even am I? What the? I thought this was a treehouse, Ducky. This doesn't look like a treehouse. And like I told you, I got an invite from Arteros to help him do some building. I'm excited to see how it goes. Let's go, man. Let me know. I'm excited to see it. Look at the chest. Sorry, where was the chest? So dark I couldn't see. Where is it? All I can see is grass. I swore I spawned like right here. Where's the chest? Fine. You wanted the temple and monastery on the rock, yeah. Very perfect fit. It feels very, very fitting, the temple and everything. I'm telling you, this is where I spawn. There ain't no chest here. To the shoe. The back of the shoe. Oh. Ducky says to like and sub. Let's go. Y'all heard it. It was a good setup. I'll give it to him. Alright, so this is not a treehouse base. It's a shoe base. Is there a treehouse base? Where even are we? Am I looking at the treehouse too, or just this? So I know what I'm doing beforehand. Preach it, Ducky. Earthed Ducky, are you here? Am I just looking at the shoe or am I looking at the treehouse too? What is that? That's high. Now he gets quiet, exactly. An update to the treehouse? Okay. All right, so we'll look at this, then we'll go to the treehouse. Right? If I'm not mistaken. First this. First shoe, then treehouse. Okay. Both. All right. Perfect. All right. Next up, we have It's Ducky or Just Ducky. Oh, sorry. Cut it. Cut it. Start over. Pressure's on, Ducky, right? Shoe then tree. All good. All good. All right. Next up, we have Just Ducky. This is an update to their tree base, which is somehow not even close to the tree, so we'll see how that goes. So we'll look at this first it's this first shoe base built in the sneaker, and then we'll also go look at the tree house that they've. So let's get it. Got a nice little shoe here. I know early on Jade was recommending people build here, so it's very interesting to see what you've done. Nice little homey vibes. Very good job like clipping these things together. I think that looks really nice. 1 second. Looks very good. Got a little kitchen and everything. Just so everyone knows, this is a creative build. You might see a few things you don't necessarily have quite yet, like the fireplaces and stuff. But very well done. Very homey little vibe. Got things all over the place in here. Duck. Yeah, the bed frame's really nice. This looks great. Almost like perfect little bench. Go into first person. I hate first. First. Let's see. Very cool, very cool. Down. Little crouch down. Very nice little red carpet and everything in the bathroom. Of course. Of course. A basketball hoop, so you gotta score to go to the bathroom. Nice, a little vanity, nice little setup. Partitions. Ah! You did that on purpose to scare me, didn't you? Very nice. What, upstairs? Hurts my brain being first person for some reason. Slam dunk in the toilet, right? It is a creative toilet. I've seen a handful of toilets. That is a new design. That is a very new design on the toilet side of things. Very fun. Nice little round table over here as well. Really like the use of the candles and stuff. I'm really excited for those to come out. Those are gonna be freaking awesome. Got your chimney stack as well. Jealous of these. Sounds so nice to have. Pine cone. Yeah, I like how you like tiered this out, because there's not a whole lot of room in the shoe itself, but you've done a good job kind of building it out up over the top as well. And then even like, as you're saying, go down even more. Dang, man, you really filled this space out. This is a fun micro base, I guess is the best way to put it. Very fun. It's a really good little layout, honestly. Very creative. For something that looks like such a small little base, I think you've done a really good job, like utilizing every square inch of this shoe. I think it's really, really well done. Very cool. And this is Ducky's D&D table, for anyone wondering. They had mentioned this one to me a few times. A nice little outdoor gaming area on a beautiful day. And then, as if a shoe base wasn't enough, we have airships. Multiple airships, not just one. Multiple. Let's see what these guys have. Honestly, more my style and the chaos style. Very well done. Yeah. Yeah, I would say it feels very much like some of the smaller bases you've made as well. Yeah, clever use of some of the materials as well. Ducky, I can't get through. Oh no. Imagine what the inside of this balloon looks like. Is there a secret to getting through? You have to jump off the ladder to get in this one. So it's a parkour challenge too? Aha! I am the best. Why they pay me the big bucks. Very nice. Get up there. Whoa. Whoa. All right. Well, oh geez. Guess it's creative. Can I die? Nope. Good. All right, let's check the other two out real quick. Go for the next smallest one. I'm pretty sure part of the floating here has a lot to do with the ladders. I think at some point you can get rid of the ladders if you get lucky as well. Grounded has a very interesting take on what is structural and what's not. You never quite know. Very cool. Got the like throne like clipped in here as well. That looks nice. Everyone manning the ship. Very nice. Just a little chill spot. Sit out here. Wait, coffee in the morning. Yeah. I don't think I'm good enough for this parkour. Oh. You just like them? It looks nice. Oh, it looks very nice. Very cool. Let's get a better visual. There you go. Very different design. This one looks very ship-like though, which I like. Versus like the balloon design. Very cool that you made this one into like more of a ship. Fun. Very fun. Shaka and Ducky are the Air Force. They really are. They've taken on the challenge. Okay. There we go. Oh, I do have the handy now. I forgot this was in creative. You know everyone wants to watch me just climb a ladder though, right? And very different from Shikaka's, which I think is also a really cool, really well done job. Not just to copy the airship one for one or anything. These are very unique designs. Love seeing different takes on a similar concept. I think that's always really fun. Got the nice big airship. Thing's massive. Cool little structural pieces. The walkways between the two. The war table, love it. Very nice. Yeah, very well done, man. These are very cool. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some more airships. Very well done. Second one was the you made the ship first. Nice. I like these. These are really cool, man. All right, now Gotta get over to the treehouse. Fan of the war table design? Yeah, Ludorav's in heaven right now. He loves this kind of stuff.
Chauffeur?
Buggy.
Me riding a bike. This is...
Break one? All right,
How's
we can do
this
that.
look? Think I'll start a new trend?
I'm afraid to break the big one. Pieces. That's a lot of pieces. That's gonna crash the stream. Let's break the second biggest one. Since we forgot to break Chicago's, gotta break one of these, right? Oh. Well, for anyone wondering, the tables float. And rugs. And vases. Interesting. That wasn't bad, though, surprisingly. I've broken a couple things in my world that have, like, absolutely destroyed everything. Literally ruined the whole thing. But let's see. We can always reload a save. Oh, yeah. See, I told you it was going. It had to think about it. That wasn't horrible, though. It definitely had to think for a minute. I love all the pieces. It probably helps that the pieces just disappear because it's creative as well. Since I know everyone wants to break stuff like that. To the tree. Doggy with 8 legs. I mean, that's kind of what they are, right? You could tell I upgraded. I haven't upgraded anything in my PC in a long time. I've had this PC for a year and a half, 2 years now, maybe. PC would have crashed. I think it helps that it's creative, so the pieces don't actually like break into them little pieces. It is just enough that
Liberty in
the things disappear, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If each one of those pieces broke into their individual pieces and then could be picked up, I think it would have lagged like way worse. It froze for a couple seconds though. It did freeze for a couple seconds. But yeah, creative the pieces just when you destroy something, they just go. Like you don't get resources back. So that probably helped a lot. All right, so the treehouse base. I think the major update here is that Ducky wrote Ducky on the top of it. If you could, or Duck on the top of that one, if you can read that. That's the first major update. Having fun with it, I see. B, like, trying to remember the buttons. Up these stairs. I wish these didn't stop because I really like these like backfilling, but it's really annoying that they like don't quite properly. You.
Bye,
stay.
Bug. Hit you up later.
You got too many legs. You gotta stay. This is all roughly the same. Skee ball and all just that stuff. Okay. Find the skee ball. Path the bridge up. More of the stuff I believe we saw. Ah, here it is. I suck.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa. Game's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
This game's rigged.
Whoa.
On the realism side,
You will get a 10 out of 10 on the realism side of the skee ball because that's exactly how it works. It's purposely made that it never goes in. It's the most realistic build I've ever seen. But very fun little addition there, man. For the people who haven't seen it. Some little carnival games, yep, exactly. This fun little sitting area up here as well. Did not see the first base review of this one. Ducky had a lot of fun with how you traverse through this base. It's a very like Kids Next Door. Anyone remembers that throwback of a show? Treehouse vibes. Oh, I lost multiple. They gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone needs skee ball just to get really mad at something for a little while. Yeah, very fun little way to like traverse this base and stuff. Question is, how do we get up there now? They're bounce webs. There it is. Oop. Fun little houses and stuff built up on the mushrooms. Yeah, lots of this is additions as well, though. Got more little rooms and everything. Whoa! Dude, you are #1 troll. You are the #1 troll, man. I almost thought of not even going in that room. But you got me. Yes, all of this is new stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Fireplace. Go back down. Go down to go up. Looks like you got this thing going like all the way around this thing too, which is... What's behind the door? Oh! Oop, my pants. Is this a ducky head? Is that what that is? You monster. You monster. At least you're pushing the aphid off first and not the weevil, but... Monster. You little monster. It's just like hundreds of dummies for no reason. You love how much fun you're having with it, man. Very fun. Little seating areas. And the words. Oh, gee. Almost fell to my death. Nice, this is even a little throne room. This is the duck. The one and only the duck. Well, man. This is all made in PTB. Ah, makes sense. Makes sense. Very cool, man. Very, very cool. Well, in terms of the grading, I think we're going to mostly grade the new shoe base and oh, geez. The shoe base and stuff. But we could start with some of the good stuff here as well. One, the skee ball is an awesome little addition, and I do like the way this isn't necessarily like a base or anything, but I love the playfulness that you're having with the treehouse itself. I think that's very cool.
This is
very fun. I still again love the way you get around this base, the like bounce elevators like you wouldn't expect. All very cool. But since we really the newest of the new, other than the awesome ducky sign, how does one get up there? What is that? What is shush? That's what I want to know. There's something happening here, but I don't know what. You haven't mentioned it, so I'm assuming I can't get up there yet. Or can I reach it from the top of the sign here? It seems like a long way for the handy net. Have that big of a range, does it?
function over fashion, Willow.
it's one sap thingy. We're too far away. I don't even know if you could reach that. Maybe you could. Here? Still pretty far. Either way. If it's just one sap thingy, we'll go to the other base again. Good thing I destroyed half the other base. Real geniuses. Why waste time when we can just go back and reload it? And then the things are there that we destroyed. Oh. Helps when I load the correct save.
Let's weed.
Yeah, this will be a cut edit for sure. Especially the part where I just loaded in the same exact save that we were in. Yeah, we'll cut that out. Be like it never happened. Happened. Yeah, that should work. The newest save we got. Okay. We are back at the shoe base. Okay, first impressions. I gotta say, I think it's interesting because like first impressions, looking at it, I'd give you like a 7 or so, but it's a very unassuming build. In a fun way, I guess. Very similar to like how your treehouse base works. It's unassuming in many ways. So at first glance, it doesn't necessarily look from the outside like this really detailed multi-level base in a shoe, which I think is fun. I think that's like the exploring and discovering the fun things you've made. But if you're just looking at this, that's like a 7. But then you look up at the airships and I'd easily give you an 8 on these. Very fun, cool designs. I think you're having a lot of fun with it. So I think you've done very good on that. The layout and interior I think is my favorite part of this whole thing. I'll go to the back of the shoe for sure, don't worry. But yeah, the layout and the interior I think is super fun. Like I easily give you a 9 on the layout and the interior. I think there's a lot of really fun little designs here. There's tons of details that are like hidden away, which I think is super fun. Hey, Chisel Chip, welcome in. How's it going, man? Yeah, lots of fun details, really cool little base, but then the fact that there's so much packed into such a little area, which I think is and as Impasta said, the laces really tie it all together. Yes. Pun intended. I love the fun you're having with the little base, though. Like, I think these are some of my favorite bases. They're so approachable. So many people could look at this and want to take this idea. But it's so unassuming at first. And then you have all these different, like, layers to this build, which I think is what is the most impressive about it. Done a really good job laying out fun, really fun little areas to explore and discover, which I think is like easily my favorite part of this little base. And then like tying these little things in to make things look good on the inside as well. The war gaming table, the D&D table, like all really fun interior little details that I think you've done an awesome job on. Again, super fun here. Nice table design with like the carpet on top, the good use of like all the interior materials and stuff. It's a very fun little build. And like the fun stuff here as well. And that's not even like counting the fun airships as well. Not a commonplace for a base, but hey, if the shoe fits, you guys freaking killing me. Oh, I wish I was that punny. Oh, I wish I was that punny. Too good, too good. The materials and exterior. I think this is where you could work on it a little bit. I do enjoy the exterior and the designs of the airships and stuff and the hot air balloon stuff. But in terms of like the exterior of this, it does exactly what it needs to do. And there's not a whole lot of exterior, so it's really hard to like know where you would change this necessarily. But what I love about it is more the interior and that kind of stuff. What's on the back of the shoe? Or are you just trying to say, look at these? To like and sub. Appreciate it, appreciate it. But I think there could be some small improvements made to the exterior of this, similar to the way the
the treehouse build is designed. I think the insides and the traversing and the getting through the base, the kind of flow of it all is super fun, is super creative. And then the exterior maybe just leaves a little bit to be desired. Yes, the gum on the back of the shoe. I did see that. Not in a bad way by any means. I mean, it's such a small space. I'm not even really sure how you would like bump this up to that next level. I don't have a great suggestion on what that may be. But it's also enough detail that it looks really good at the same time. I don't think there's much you could change on the outside, but I do think it's really fun. We'll change. And I would say the airships are great, so very little I can say to those. But materials and exterior, if you... a 7 out of 10, I think that's the one place you could bump it up, but like you have the opposite design of kind of how I work, is I overdo the exterior and my interiors leave a little to be desired. And so it's like, it's a mentality. It's really hard to think of both all the time and have everything be perfect. But I think what you've done is really good. I think it's really fun. Haven't stopped by in a while. What have you been up to lately? Building bases, man. We've been back in Enshrouded, which has been super fun. I'll be streaming Enshrouded tomorrow and Thursday as well. If you want to check out what we're building and some of the new water stuff as well. Really excited to get back into building and Enshrouded. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah, just lots of building and base reviews. Base reviews are like 90% of my time now. It's constant. I need to figure out how to do Enshrouded base reviews. That'd be super fun. Maybe frame in the entrance with some pine to fit the opening of the shoe. That could be kind of interesting. Like frame this a little bit more. Could be really interesting. There's not the hard part is there's so little exterior actually showing, so it's very interesting to like I don't know how you can add much more detail without just covering the shoe, which I think would kind of defeat the purpose. Because like if it's no longer a shoe, it's not really a shoe base, you know. But I think what you've done works pretty well. But there might be some little things like Lude said, maybe framing this a little bit more, maybe building to the exterior of the shoe a little bit more. Just little things, but overall really well done. And the exterior of the ships is honestly where this base is truly shining at the end of the day. It is super fun designs you've got messing around here. You've been messing around with. I could just fly around airships all day. Super fun. So I think you've done a great job. The structure, a little bit harder on this one because there isn't structure. I don't know how I grade you on that. I think the lack of structure is the impressive part. That you've managed to make airships, so it's like, I don't know, 8 or 9 out of 10. It's like, it's not really one you can vote on because there is a distinct lack of structure, which I think is what makes it fun, having these the airships floating up here and stuff. And you've done a great job just tying into some like a structural piece in the shoe itself and utilizing that. So I think that all works really well. But not a lot I could say on those things. I think you've done exactly what you needed to do with them. The functionality of it, since it's a creative build, I'm not gonna lie, you don't like the warship. I mean, it's your warship. That's the great thing. You can change it at any time. I think if you found a way to maybe split these up a little bit more, that could be potentially an option. It feels hefty. Whereas like these ones feel maybe a little bit lighter in the way they're designed. Maybe it's because the balloon portion, like the hot air balloon portion, is a little higher on these and kind of like more obviously meant to be the airship portion. I think the pine cone is potentially deterring from the like light and airy feel of an airship. So maybe, I don't know, maybe find a way to just redesign the balloon portion of these that might potentially help, and maybe like the little details that you've done here, similar things to like Shikaka with like the hot air balloon design with the Orc Disruptor, like maybe some of those details could make this larger airship feel more airship-like. It feels heavy, I think, with the pine cone is the only thing. I like the shape and the design, the like split pontoon sort of design I think is kind of very airship-like, but maybe grass
for the balloon, or like breaking it up with stems and grass. Some type of like mixture that like makes it feel a little less heavy on the top, because visually these ones feel like they would float and they would fly much easier. This one feels like a monster of a ship because of the pine cone used, because it's such a dark, heavily textured material. Just reads a little heavy, as I think the only thing I'd change about it. And then more detail in the bottoms and stuff doesn't hurt, but I think you've done a good job overall on that. Wouldn't necessarily knock it. As I said, functionality doesn't really matter in a creative build since it's not meant to function, but it works as a great base and it's fun. You've done a great job. The theme and continuity, I think you've done a great job, honestly. I think each build sort of feels like its own thing, is maybe the only thing I'd change. I know you're kind of just experimenting and having fun, and you're not necessarily trying to create like a city of airships or like a collection of them necessarily, so I wouldn't necessarily grade each one as a group, but they're more like individuals visually looking at them, which is totally fine. I think each build on its own has a good like theme and effect to it, so I think I'd give you like an 8 on those, but I think I would like to see potentially, how do you integrate these? How do you tie them into a larger build? Do the airships potentially become part of your treehouse build? That could be really fun. Like, you've got all this stuff going on the treehouse. Maybe like take some of these designs and start popping them all around the tree. Could be really fun. If you want to keep experimenting with other designs and stuff, it'd be kind of cool to tie the two bases together, since you kind of have shoe base and then airships and then treehouse. Maybe finding a way to like connect and combine them all into something else would be an interesting way to see like the styles sort of come together as one. But I think it's fun. The overall creativity, easy 9 on this one. Like, compared to your first iteration of the treehouse, was not bad. You had some fun creative things. You've done a great job experimenting, I think, is what's really fun at the end of the day with this. I think it's especially in creative, that's what I really like seeing, is the experimentation. How can you mess with the different ways you go in and out of the base, the different levels, how you traverse through the bounce pads and stuff, or the bounce webs in the treehouse base, like having airships and stuff. I think it's all really fun. It's all really creative techniques. Each individual build is like totally unique on its own, so I think that's all really fun. And the potential, I think you have tons of potential. It's like a 9 out of 10, just because I know you're saying think you're done with this build, so not enough potential for you personally, but I think there's a lot of ideas here that you could really take and use in other builds. I think it's all really fun little iterations of different designs we've seen. The shoe base is really fun and well done, honestly, like very clever to utilize that much space and to utilize such little space so creatively. I think is really well done. It's a tough task. The super small bases are really difficult, especially when you're integrating into something that's already on the map that's this small. But I think you've done a really good job with the creativity and the potential of taking some of these ideas for future builds that you eventually want to get into. I think there's a lot of creative ideas that can be utilized in a different world when you want to jump back in to go crazy and build again. But once again, thank you, Ducky. Really appreciate you letting us look at this one. Super fun, super creative little builds, and fun updates as well. Really good job. Glad you were able to take a little bit of extra time and like really push this one. I think it was well worth the effort. I know it can be hard sometimes, but I think you've done a great job. Very, very well done. Pheasant Enshrouded is looking really cool. Yeah, it's phenomenal. The new update's so freaking fun. You're making a new one as well. Interesting. Excited to see it. Send pictures in the Discord. Saves. It doesn't lag stream? It's possible. Gotta set up my soda can base, right? Great job with the ships. Big fan of the designs. Let's go. Yeah, you got everyone excited. Looking great, man. Dog hair.
Welcome in, Truffle Shuffle. Hope you're having a great night. Right, next up, we have Fear. Scary. Somewhere. It's TTV Genghis. Xbox. Looking at the wrong line. I saw it earlier. Ah, of course, right here. Right in front of my face. Yeah, Fear's like, I know where it is. Glad someone's on top of it. I'm not. Now I have to make something that looks good. That's the point, though, isn't it? That's the whole goal, is it not? Alrighty. Next up, we have Fear. Bases right in the starting area next to the ranger station and stuff. As always, great little spot to build. Nothing wrong with building right in the starting area. Super safe and easy. So, let's see. Yes, this one was in the thumbnail as well. First impressions. Love the exterior. I think it's a really fun little design. Like lining everything up right on the ranger station. And not necessarily like building in the big open area, but like having fun and kind of like switching it up. We've seen a lot of bases right in this area, which nothing wrong with seeing that. I think it makes a ton of sense since it's the first flat area, but I like that you kind of switch it up. Did your own thing. Very cool. Great little entrance. Love that you put the stairs on the sides. I think that looks super nice. Nice little depth in windows as well. Got all your functional stuff. Your little base pieces down here. You guys. I'm pretty sure you are all just trying to scare me now. I'm convinced. Everyone's just trying to make me poop my pants. Y'all crazy. I'm just hiding things everywhere, so I get scared. No one expects to open a random door and just have a pumpkin. Got your chest area. More stairs. Look under the wolf spider carpet. Oh, it's your workbench. Oh, that's a fun little way to hide it. Very clever. It's always really hard to find a good place for the work stands and stuff, because they don't look bad by any means, but they're really hard to tie into a build, you know. I like that you just kind of hid it away, but it's still very functional as well. Great job on that. Again, just a nice little chest area. Got your fun little bridge going across to your jerky racks. A little storage and stuff. Good job on the design stuff. Very nice. Love the like openings in the windows and stuff. Everyone's low-key trying to shiver my timbers. Killing me. Oh man. Got me chuckling. Bedroom design. You got your own little basketball hoop. Best chest. I wish they weren't so expensive. So cool. Very nice. And I love the way you've done all these little like window designs. I think those are really nice. Just little like openings all over the place with the different designs, but you've like bumped them out without making them like a pure balcony. It looks really nice. Simple and efficient. I love to see. Nice, and the massive
Filling up the tank
here. Feels like the perfect spot right at the top of this thing. Very nice.
And again, the windows are very well done as well. Very, very well done. Feels very nice. As much as I love seeing like mega builds and the craziness, it is really nice to see just smaller, more simplistic bases. I feel like you have a lot of hidden detail in this, which I think is cool on these smaller builds as well. Spend more time designing and creating like a unique aesthetic instead of thousands of hours just building massively, which I'm a fan of. I think it turned out really nice. Very, very cool. The back needs some work, plus way more lighting. Yeah, I think you're on a great start, though. Like, I think that's what's awesome is, like, you've got an incredible start. It's simple. It does everything it needs to do. It has a lot of fun little designs to it. It's not just a flat box. Like, everything you're doing is headed in the right direction, for sure. Sure, you can add more details and stuff, but, I mean, in my opinion, I'm not sure how many Disney fans we have out here, but in the same way that Disneyland will never be complete, that's how I think of my builds. Every build is just waiting for one little piece of inspiration and how I could add more and more and more to it. And so I never think of any of my builds as done. At any given point, I might get a stroke of inspiration and start going crazy again. Add on a whole new room, a new building, lots of little things. So I think you've done great. First impressions, I'm gonna give you an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really, really good start. I think it's such a perfect little starter base. I think it's very similar to like the build competition that we did not too long ago for the charity event. What I love seeing is like smaller scale builds with lots of detail. It's really easy to build massive builds and just get stuck in the process of continuing like fleshing out the design, whereas in these smaller bases you can spend all that time that would be spent collecting materials and like laying it out. You get to spend it on the details, which is I think where this build is coming to life. I think you've had a lot of fun, like you said, lighting and stuff, but I can already see that there's a ton of potential with how you're lighting. Kind of created a consistent lighting theme throughout the build, which looks really nice, and you've just done just enough highlights to kind of break up some of the bigger walls and pieces. And it creates like a very visually cohesive design with the lighting that you've done, on top of just the simple use of materials. It's not over the top. There's just enough like change in the materiality that I think I think you've done just enough like amount of like windows and holes, like the little points like this where you add more depth to the build, I think is all really well done. But I think first impressions, it's impressive, especially as like your first starter base here. Like you've got a really good sense of design going right off the bat, which I'm a big fan of. The layout and interior, I think we could bump up the layout and interior just a bit. Some of the spaces I think are designed out really well. I think each of the like functional spaces, they all work, they all make sense. I like the way that you kind of like walk up the same kind of like little staircase, sort of in a circle up above to get to the above locations. But the insides are a little on the bland side, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't have a better word that's coming to mind right off the bat, because I think seeing how you've detailed and designed some of these spaces leaves some of the other spaces desiring or wanting a little bit more, which is hard. It's kind of one of those things when as you add more to a base, as you spend more time getting the design and the details figured out, like the interior comes after time. So I would never expect anyone to have like a perfect interior design figured out right off the bat. It takes time. But the layout and stuff, it all functions really well. It works really well. I think I'd give you an easy 8 on the interiors. I like the layout a little bit more. I think I enjoy the way you've like moved some of the functional stuff, as I've said, outside of the base into their own little spaces, which I think is really nice, especially with like the jerky racks. Since you can't access those from a chest or anything, it makes total sense to separate those out. But I think lighting similar to like how you've done the outside, or like little details like this, would really bring the rest of the interior. I think there's a lot of moments that are working really, really well on the inside of this, and I just want to see them like carried out through the rest of the base is all. I think the places you put the time and effort to like design and like lay things out, I think they've worked, and now it's just like continue that level of detail, the level of creativity, and like hiding fun things behind doors and stuff. See it everywhere. Waiting for more stuff to come out, but get where you're coming from, definitely. Yeah, and that's also one side of it, is the interiors. We lack a lot of items in the game currently, so there's only so much you can do with the interior of the bases. So I think you're definitely on the right track, but that is maybe the one thing, if I'm being a little nitpicky, like that's the one thing where I could see some things being added upon. The materials and exterior, I think you've got a really good sense of kind of like exterior design work. It looks great at night. It looks great during the day. The lighting really adds a lot to it. Kind of breaks up this big, tall building really well. Like you've placed them in a very aesthetically pleasing way, and you've got like lighting on the insides of these that kind of shines out as well. And I really like that you've done like regular lights on top of the mounts, but to like tie these in is like, that's a totally different lighting piece than that. So you've recreated little moments like that to sort of keep the overall aesthetic going, which I think is a really good job on that side of it. And again, just enough. Like typically I see these pine builds, and the first thing I want to say is like, it's too much of one material. This is a great example of how you can use just mainly one material. And just the way you like do openings and balconies, you add in little roof pieces and stuff. It's just enough to take what would be just kind of a brown house, and you've taken it and you've elevated it to that next level. So I think you've done really well on the exterior. And I actually, typically I'm not a fan of like one material being used. I know you've got like little pops of it and stuff, but in this instance, I think you've done a really good job. Using like the stairs break up a big wall, all the openings, the windows and stuff are really well done. Utilizing like the different triangle pieces, whether it's like an exterior detail, a structural detail, a window detail. You've done a really good job. And I think, as you said, the back just needs that same level of attention is the only thing it's missing. Like that's the only thing I would say that could be fixed or better, as you already said, is the back needs a little work. But if the back of your building, of your base, is the only thing that I can critique, and you've already mentioned that you want to put more work into it, like you're on the right track. Like it's really good. It's really good. Really, really well done. The bridge is super fun. It feels very natural to kind of go like up and over the little route and stuff. It looks really good. Again, another really simple build that just does exactly what it needs and nothing more. You very easily could have started just like swapping out tons of materials, and this would become very visually overwhelming very quickly. And I'm very happy with the perfect amount of like detail and stuff to break this up. So just keep going. I mean, I can't critique you on any of this. I think this looks really, really nice. It's like a front elevation for the architecture buffs like me. Love seeing a really nice elevation with a lot of detail going on. I think you've done really well there. The structural side of it, always a little hard. I mean, there's not a whole lot of structure, but I think the way you've used the different pieces looks really good. So I'd give you like an 8 out of 10 on the structure. Not necessarily something that's like make or break on a lot of bases, but the way you've lifted the base up to this upper level, but instead of just like putting an entrance on the side, you decided to make very, very deliberate decision to utilize the stairs to make the like centerpiece the ranger station. I think looks really good. And these little details also, like really, really simple, elegant little details and designs to add into this space to like continue the theme. Like I really like the red outline, like the bamboo sort of look to these blocks, and I think it's like the perfect amount to like break up these pieces. It adds that like extra structural element as well. I think a lot of the pine buildings end up using too many of the full block pieces, but as soon as you start adding in like the little triangles and stuff and like utilizing the door frames, I think it really, really makes a nice effect. And even like the bridge is really well done too. This is a very simple build. I like that you kind of tied in the scaffolds and stuff, but you added extra details to them. I think it looks really nice. And even the decision to like switch up from the pine to the more thatch material on the inside part of that block is just enough that it feels very well done. I think you've done a great job on that aspect of it all. The functionality, it works. There's not really a whole lot. I think you've had some fun like hiding away your crafting table or your workbench is a fun little way to do it. Everything's here. It works. Outside of this, maybe having a little bit more fun with the functional side of it, finding ways to maybe like take up a little bit more space. You have a lot of space in here. I could see like potentially moving this and utilizing this wall a little bit more potentially, or even like changing this room up a little bit to give yourself like maybe wall this off and give yourself just a little bit more room potentially. Kind of messes up your stair design though, but that could be something to look at, especially as we get more items in the game. That's one thing I like to think of. Having enough chests to store everything that's going to be added to the game is one of those things that can very quickly become a problem if you're not planning for it early on. That's why I like to talk about the function of a base, because it's very easy to say like you have enough of the machinery and stuff, but I can tell you're gonna run out of chest space very quickly once we start getting a ton of updates. So that would just be maybe one extra thing to think about on the functional side, but it'd still give you a 7. Everything here, of course, but it's not as tied into the lower level. You got your functional stuff down there, but maybe finding a way to kind of like tie in some design elements like in this room, or even just building to the ceiling, adding more fun lights and stuff. I always like to think of like, how can I make the functional side of a base be fun at the same time and not just be a chest room? That's typically how I like looking at it, but everything works. So it's hard to like grade you down necessarily, because everything works the way it works. Like everything's reaching, you can get to all the materials from here. So functionally it does really work, but I do like to see it pushed on the playful side, I guess is another way to put it, where like separating it out and having some more functional stuff out as like a fun bridge design element, I think is a really good way of doing it. But I think overall you really are headed in the right direction. There's nothing that I really can knock you on points on with that. The theme and continuity, I think it's really well done, honestly. I think I'd have to give you a 9 on the theme kind of side of it, and the continuity. I think you've done just enough. I think a lot of people could take notes on making a much more simple design. I tend to say like more materials, but I think at the end of the day, like I'm typically like a two material kind of building design person. So I like more materiality, but in this instance, this feels very much like the correct amount. It's just enough that it feels really good. The continuity of it feels really nice. Nothing feels out of place. The design elements have been brought through where you've utilized these little triangle pieces. Like it kind of echoes the design throughout, even though each level of this feels very different in terms of like the shapes and stuff you've used. I mean, you've got like a full triangle there. You've got like smaller ones, square openings, like little diamonds. But it's just enough that it feels really good. I think you've done an awesome job on the that, and like tying in the little design elements, the little pieces throughout this, creating voids and holes for more depth. I think is all very, very well done for a little starter base. I think it's just the right amount of design and elements to it. So it looks really nice. And the overall creativity, I think I'd give you an 8 here, because I think there's parts of this that I want to give like a 9 or higher, and there's parts of it I want to give like a 6 or a 7. And so I think I'm going to land somewhere in the middle between like a 7 and an 8, just because the places where you're super creative and you're having a lot of fun haven't necessarily gone to like every single part of the base. So there's just some spaces that could be brought up to the other areas as well, or like the level of design in the other areas, being like the bridge, the facade, the front facade, whereas the back facade could still use a little work. So I think there's little elements you could still work on, but I think all the elements that you need are there. Now it's just like, how do you bring the higher portions of design across the entire base, so it's like a level playing field between the whole thing. There's not like some places that are really, really interesting and some places that are kind of just little rooms that are functional. I think it's a good mix. But little things that you could do to kind of like bring the whole thing up to like this level of design, because I really like how a lot of this works and feels, and I want to see it's so well done. I want to see more of it, I guess, is the best way to put it. And the potential. I think you've got a lot of potential here. I mean, it's a smaller base. I'm not really sure what your long-term plans are, if you're going to add more to it, if you're going to go build other bases. I think this starting area creates a lot of potential, though. So I think you're probably at like an 8 on the potential. Again, sort of an arbitrary grading point. But I do like seeing, like, how could this be expanded upon? And I think you've got some interesting ideas where you could start doing more bridges. You could do bridges and start like bringing stuff out like over this into this little area if you wanted to. Just more little spaces. You could bring lots of like potential designs, like adding more rooms and stuff to these outer areas. You could like bust the back wall out and expand upon this whole area with all the space you have. You could build more bridges coming out to these areas and like build out to the can or like some of these back spaces. There's a lot of potential of like where you can keep going with it, with how you decided to build perched up here with the sprinkler head instead of like building down in the little valley like most people do. Is that kind of like building down here? I often feel like it encloses you to build in this little specific space. So by building up on the top, you've given yourself a lot of potential for growth in the long. I think you've done great. But yeah, that's it for this one. Once again, thank you, Fear. Appreciate you letting us look at this one. I think you've done an awesome job. I think there's a lot of really cool things that people are going to take. The lighting elements, the little like triangular designs, the bridge, the like staircase over a ranger station. Just like, again, another base that's like simple, but like really well done. Lots of potential for how you could take these little design ideas and keep going and stuff. So I think you've done awesome. So once again, thank you, Fear. Appreciate you letting us take a look at this one. And I'm excited to see updates and see where you go with it in the future. Very well done. Like half of that, I've had like a dog hair stuck in my stash. And I can't get it out. Tickling my nose. Killing me. Oh. Worst part about a mustache and a big hairy dog, they don't go well together. Want to keep adding towards the cave, but definitely keep making the back better in bridges. Reading my mind, mate, and thanks for reviewing. Yeah, I think great job. Honestly, I think you've done a really good job. I think there's a ton of potential. And I love seeing like it's a really approachable sized base. Like some people want to see massive, ridiculous mega builds. Some people think they're the dumbest thing ever made. I think these bases are like really cool to see because I think that is the base that 90+% of the community is interested in building in the long run. Like that's the approachable design that most people scale-wise, you maybe even are a little larger than some might think, but it's enough that you're like you'll push people. You'll push people to design a little bit larger, a little bit bigger, to kind of add in some of the details that you've done. So I think you did great. Very well done. Super fun base. If there's always room for improvement and to add new coming items. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Welcome in, Ace, by the way. Like the curb appeal, yeah. Yeah, it's like a very realistic looking building. Very, very well done. So much space and opportunity, yeah. Exactly. Another great one, though. Guys are killing it. I love the mix. I'm still amazed that we have now done
we've now done 59 base tours. And I cannot look at a single one and think, oh, this looks just like X. That looks just like Y. Like, every single base is unique in its own way, which I think is part of what's so exciting to see these bases. Whether the location changes, I mean, we've seen now like 3, maybe 4 Japanese style builds, and each one has been like unique in its own way. Different locations, different build spots. Like, every part of it is super interesting. So I'm really enjoying seeing how we can all use the same, like, I mean, we have such a limited palette of blocks right now, and the fact that like nobody's base looks the same is honestly insane. It's one of my favorite things to see is like every time I jump in a world, I'm just like, again, how have we not all? We have little elements like the light posts and toilets and those sort of things that are like the funny things, but it's not like the overall design of every single base is so different. Having a break, but we'll definitely be back in the building again. Yeah, if anyone's taking a break from Grounded until we get some more updates, I highly recommend Enshrouded. If you haven't played Enshrouded, it's an awesome like RPG style survival build game that I'm a huge fan of. The building is honestly next level. Both Enshrouded and Grounded, for very different reasons in terms of building, have like a special place in my heart because they're both so freaking cool. But if you're looking for something to do, check out Enshrouded. We'll be playing tomorrow as well. Tomorrow and Thursday. Probably for the foreseeable future, maybe until we get the December update with some new decor items and stuff, we might be taking a little bit of a break from Grounded. We'll see how my inspiration goes. But without mushroom bricks, I'm kind of stuck. My build massively relies on mushroom bricks moving forward for the design, and so I can't really build a ton more except for little details and stuff. And the new Enshrouded Water update is freaking insane. Like, absolutely insane. So if you're excited to see some potentially other style of building games, make sure to come back tomorrow and check out some Enshrouded builds, because I think tomorrow we're going to be jumping into building. We've gotten through a lot of the water content. We still need a couple more things that we're going to have to do early in stream, but there are definitely going to be some fun builds coming out of that. We already have some cool stuff built as well. So, very excited. But back to Grounded. Yes, Ducky, I saw the start of it. Start to me airship. I like the shape of that. I think that's an interesting shape for an airship. I think that's going to look nice. Keep it up. Already would have bought it if it was on console. I decided I'll just wait till early next year for the Enshrouded console release, so I have something to look forward to while I run through my backlog. Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it. I mean, I put it on the back burner. The previous 2 updates were really good. They really were, but this one, combined with the other 2, is like, it's feeling like a very, for an early access game, it's feeling like a very very well fleshed out early access. Feels very similar to like Grounded, let's say, in terms of like where Grounded is in early access and where Enshrouded is in early access, because Enshrouded's been out over a year now, if not a year and a half. Enshrouded would be as if we were at the summer update. It kind of feels like the summer update for Grounded. So we've gotten like 2 major, that one maybe 3 major updates with new areas, and then lots of like quality of life random things. But another really fun game for anyone who's interested. Same amount of parts as the small ones. Wow, there you go. But yes, all right. So the next base is going to be Baggins, the one and only Frodo Baggins. I'm assuming that's what it is. But this base, another starting location, should be a great one right after we just had another one. Great timing for it. But yeah, here we go. Okay. I haven't seen this one. I took a quick image, but that was it. I didn't look at around at all, so I'm really interested to see what you got going on here. Got our little foundation area with walls, armor dummies, and everything. Me and my fiance have worked hard for this. It's still a work in progress. All good. I love work in progress. That means people that have a work in progress, I appreciate much more for these base reviews. Specifically because it allows me to like help you through that process. Whereas when it's a finished, like done base, there's so much less that I can comment on that isn't like, oh, what if you changed this and the whole thing has to change? As if things that are a work in progress are like, I feel great because I can come in here and really give some ideas to help improve and keep things going as you are building things out. So it's a good place to be for base reviews specifically. So this thing doesn't laugh at me all day. Don't mind me. I can't stand listening to these things. This sounds fun, but it's also drives me insane. How many of them do you have? There's pumpkins everywhere. We love any feedback, and sorry I was obsessed with the pumpkins. No, it's fine. I love the pumpkins visually. The laughing at me constantly starts to drive me insane. That's a me thing, though. I think they're really fun. Ah, there it is. You haven't got anything in there. Oh, it's upstairs, of course. All right, yes. So already, I like the different designs you've got going on. Fun little use of like the triangles and the extra details and everything. The like overhanged areas, well done on those. Got you kind of like lower functional areas. Pumpkins galore, as you said. Oh, jeez. Don't worry, I saved your guys' life. The exterminator here. Happy to help whenever I can. Right, let's stick in this one first. One side is his and one is mine. That's nice. I love to hear it. That's how my wife and I play games. She takes one area, I take another. Got your nice little bedroom here. Like a rooftop hangout area as well. That's one thing I've noticed. We need half stairs. We need half stairs really bad. Yeah, rooftop deck, hangout area. You got like a little bar space. Nice little seating area as well. Very fun. Guess we're going down. Fine, I wanted to see this entrance anyway. Got your little functional space over here as well. Like all the different entrances that you've got going on. Very fun. Little lighting. This entrance looks very nice. Oh, and these are on... Ah, so you built these like separately. Interesting. They're jack-o'-lanterns. No, you're right. You're right. They're jack-o'-lanterns. Might be. I've been caught red-handed. Good job utilizing the sap collectors as well on these logs to like make it inside of your base. Love that. Wish you had a fiance to do that with, right? It'll happen. It'll happen. Don't worry. Nice little chest area. Wow, you guys are got stuff everywhere. Little seating fun area as well. Interior patios, always have to love them. I like the way you like divided these up as well. This looks really nice. Simple little things, but those are the things that really get me excited. And like a little upper bedroom area. Takes credit for the design work. I farm a lot. Love to bond and play together. That's the best way to do it. I tend to, my wife doesn't play Grounded, but she plays Stardew Valley a lot. And so I do all the combat and collecting, and she does all the farming. And so she designs and lays out the farm for us and does all the hard work. And I just go fight things for loot. Wish I had IRL friends. Hey, we all do. If I didn't have a wife and child, I wouldn't talk to anyone. Hardly ever. So I get the feeling. All right. Did I miss anything specifically that you would like me to see? I think we hit everything. Think I saw anything hiding around yet. Very blessed for him, that's for sure. And you got it all perfect.
Ready to break up a
Fiance
sweat.
is a fun time relationship. Also stressful. Weddings are crazy. Oh, that was such a stressful time, but so fun at the same time. I don't know. It's one of those things. All right. So, first impressions. I think you guys have a great start. Small, but we have an idea to build a second base. Nice. Be excited to see it once you have it. It'll be fun. But yes, in terms of grading, the first impressions, I think you have a great little start here. A lot going on. I think it's kind of fun that you have like two kind of separate bases. Like when I originally popped in the world for the screenshot for the thumbnail earlier today, I was kind of like, oh, it's interesting. There's like, visually, my first sense was like, oh, it's a little disjointed because it's like there's two separate builds going on here almost. But then knowing that's exactly what's happening, like it makes it even better. Because I enjoy the idea of like two people building one base connected but separately at the same time. I think that's a fun kind of interesting way to see like both of your designs and ideas and how you think of things differently. Yeah, his and hers deal. Exactly. Which at first was kind of like, how am I going to talk about this? How am I going to do it? But now that I'm like, that's exactly what the point is, it makes it even better. I think it's a fun way to build. I think it's cool to see two different ideas and two different like concepts of what a base should be or needs to do built at the same time. So I think it's a fun way to do it. It's definitely a new one. I haven't necessarily seen two people building. A lot of times we've had couples build on the channel, and it's kind of one person building a lot of stuff and another person kind of playing the other side of the game. And you don't necessarily see like, this is your build and this is his build. So I think it's a fun little way to see a base design. So I think it's really cool. So in terms of first impressions, a little hard to do it because like the first impressions were like maybe a 7 at first, but then knowing that like it was actually built the way my brain was questioning at first makes it a little bit more interesting. And it's a little bit more fun to kind of think of how I have to grade this as like two separate people almost. Because I can't necessarily knock you for like, well, there's a his base and a her base. Because at first that seems like it doesn't necessarily have the same continuity. But then at the same time, like the fact that your bases thematically do fit together pretty well. You've utilized some similar like aspects between the two, but you're also building them separate. It's interesting. It's kind of fun. So I'd probably give you like a 7 on first impressions. I think there's a lot of work you could do, especially because you said it's a work in progress. So I want to give you the grades that are going to help you the most, not necessarily say it's good or bad, but I think there's a lot of potential that you can keep going with. And then the layout and interior, I think both sides of it have some really fun little design pieces. I enjoy the kind of like way you walk around the two bases. It also is very fun in the same sense that the late part of the struggle or the difficulty in the design is that it is two people working on their own separate things together at the same time. And the fact that it does kind of work out so well, I think is really cool. I really enjoy how they just like kind of randomly connect and you can see literally where like one base starts and another base ends at the same time. So I think the layout of both of the bases together make for telling that story in a really fun way. So I enjoy that side of it. I think maybe that's where one thing, like thinking through in terms of like the layout, how do you connect these maybe a little bit more intentionally, I guess would be the way to do it. I like the like exterior bridges or staircases, but like maybe how do we find a way to sort of like more intentionally, maybe sliding these things over or finding a way to like emphasize these. Cause I think I could see the design concept of two separate bases somehow intermingling, sort of like a yin and yang sort of thing, could almost be an interesting way to kind of take this base. If you wanted to sort of keep the differentiation between the two like design styles that you both have, is you could very much see like you both have interesting like outdoor spaces, roof spaces, the storage and stuff. Maybe how could you move some of these chests around and stuff so that it reads as like there's this like inner area that you're both utilizing to like access both bases, essentially, if that makes sense. So I could see like the chest area specifically. What I'm looking at is it looks like it probably reaches, but like this space in a functional sense, because you have two bases in one, could really be a way where I could see the like design concept of two things, yin and yang, kind of coming together, and the middle is the functional space. Because you already sort of have them separated but connected really well in that sense. But it's like, now how do you, if this is, I believe, his side of the base, like, how do you get to utilize the functional side of things? Like, you've got jerky collectors and fresh storage and like cooking stuff, and he has the other half of it. So like, how could you kind of meld the functional portions of this base together a little bit is kind of what I'm immediately thinking, which I feel would land in the layout, or the layout and interior side of it. I think would be an interesting way to like maybe find a way to visually connect these two. Maybe it's like a larger room that connects the center of these or something like that. Just throwing out random ideas, but that's I like the idea of really leaning in to your base and his base, and then how do they connect in more interesting ways, like more visually appealing ways than just an exterior stair. Because like, you could take these staircases and like really emphasize them and have like fun walkways that kind of like connect the bases in more interesting ways, or like your bedroom connects to his bedroom in some way, and like fun little ways to kind of like meld them together into one larger picture. I think could be really interesting, because like you're already like halfway there, honestly. Whether it was like necessarily intended to be two separate but one together, which is kind of funny, like how marriage and life works, like two separate entities coming together to be one, is a really kind of like a fun way to think about a base in many ways. And so it's like, okay, how do I connect these visually just a bit more? I think could be really fun. In terms of the, I'm not totally sure. Did I give that a grade, or did I just start talking constantly? I think I just started talking constantly. But the layout, I think, in the functionality side of it, the layout, I think, is where there's so much potential. So I'd probably give you like a 7 currently and a 12 or a 20 on potential, because I can really see like the architectural concept designer in me is like, there's something really interesting that you could do with yin and yang as you continue building this out, and as we get more materials as well, more decor items. I think there could be some really visually interesting ways to like how you tie these stairs into each other's different spaces, and how those kind of like mold like a helix sort of design or something could be really interesting. The materials and exterior, again, I think it falls in that same realm of there's two bases, but there's two designers, but one base. And it reads like that. And I almost think maybe each of you pick an aesthetic, pick one piece of your base. Like, you very much have this kind of like interesting triangular design, and there's also sort of an interesting different triangular design that I think you could both maybe emphasize. Or does yours have vertical pieces like this, which I like the way these looked on the inside and the outside. Maybe your base is more like vertical designs, and his base is more triangular designs. So you get a little bit more of that, like, it really starts reading as one base and another base that are somehow connected in the center. And you could create some sort of like interesting walkway to visually connect them or something as well. But I think that could be very interesting. Because because of that, and maybe that's me placing my own concepts of what I'd really like to see here, just because of the way I'm thinking and getting excited about the ideas that could happen here. I'd give you like a 7 on the materials and exterior. It's little portions of it are disjointed. We only have so much materials, so again, you always have to take the whole materials and designs because we're all working with a very limited palette. But I think that would be one thing. You've both done a really good job, like little designs on the inside, fun stairs, fun ways to get through each one of the bases. The exterior patio type things are also really nice, but I want to see a little bit more cohesion. Like maybe your base is using more of these pieces and his base is using more of like the stem pieces, and then you have some piece that kind of like combines them in the middle or something like that. I could see visually taking some of the concepts that each of you have done and sort of like really diving in and like committing to one aesthetic and another aesthetic between the two bases. I think could be really visually interesting to see and really start to like emphasize your base, his base sort of thing in a fun way. Love to see what new materials we can use, plus use some of the old. Yeah, definitely. This is why we came to you, because you help us find better ways than we think about it. Yeah, and I think it's not even just me in many ways. I think having a third party and unbiased opinion on like what is interesting, what still needs work is like, it's why I love it, because I have a completely different perspective and no one has to listen to a single idea that I have. They're just like, it's just what comes out of my head. What I instantly visually see are the things that I tend to like, I like diving into. That's a big part of my architectural education is you see something in a design. Every design that I've ever done has something that works and something that absolutely doesn't work. Or I say I have an idea and half of it follows that idea and the other half of it drifts away from that concept. And so I really like thinking of like the idea of a concept and how this is built. How do you make that concept where like, is this one the concept I see as is like two separate bases, two separate people building a single base, but separately in some ways. That to me is like instantly reads as concept and something that you can really visually dive down into, and like every decision then gets made on how do we make this look like two separate bases, but still be one cohesive base at the same time. So it gets me really excited to see something fun and new like this, because I don't think we've ever seen a base quite like this. We've seen lots of people working on bases together, but not necessarily working on bases together but separate at the same time, which is a really interesting like visual concept as a designer to see and think through. It opens up a lot of potential and a lot of opportunities. There's so many new ideas, and we have a lot of add-ons and build-ons we plan to do. Your tips and advice are appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think there's a lot of potential. Yeah, so let's keep on the grading, the structure of it. I think you guys are headed in the right direction. I think there's some elements of the structural side of this that could be emphasized. I really like how you've done like this overhang space with the columns, and I think this level of structure would start to make sense in some of these like cantilevered areas. I always think you can get away with like a block or two looking pretty realistic, but then you start getting out these like bigger areas, and visually they tend to want a little bit of structure, like tying them back into the lower structure itself. So whether that be like some angled pieces from the triangles, or maybe you like continue up some of these verticals and you build out a little bit and do like a little like step design just to like give this a little bit of visual structure. Similarly to how like these are, I think in this sense, I think the pebble columns, and this is where structure gets more difficult because we only have so much. You don't have a bigger column than this. This is what we've got to work with. But I tend to find when you start stacking 4 or 5 of them on top of each other, that's where the structure kind of design aspect starts to fall apart for me. Sort of a personal opinion on those things, because it doesn't not work to do it like this, but I think seeing these like larger bases held up by these little pillars oftentimes leaves a little bit lacking in terms of like the realism of it. Whereas if you potentially like kept 2 of these to create like a colonnade, similar to what you've done here. Maybe they get extended upwards. And then instead of maybe these ones, and instead of like leaving this gap, you could start tying some pebble foundations or some of the scaffold here and stuff, tying it back into these structures a little bit, tying it back into this potentially. Maybe it's just like use quarter foundation pieces. So like you took some of these and instead of columns, you kind of stacked these up to add a little bit more depth. Even if you want to keep the columns, you could like outline them a little bit just to fill them in maybe a little bit more. And I think that something along these lines, I don't know, even if it like potentially got into this and then it's really tied in structurally back into it, and it helps. Like, I think you can get away with 2 columns here, but then when you have like 3 or 4 or 5, it tends to feel like twigs hang, like a twig holding up a massive rock or something like that, and it loses the illusion of structure in many ways, whereas functionally it's doing what it needs to do, where if one of these gets destroyed, it's not all going to come falling down. But I think visually you can start to make these feel a little heftier, especially because this is sort of like a, for a lack of a better word, a cave kind of space. It would help the illusion of this being kind of like this cave area with this like dirt overhang and stuff to kind of fill it in and make it feel a little heftier. And then it encloses this kind of lower area as well. You could even like start using some of like these pieces as well, and maybe that's like, get the idea. But utilizing these to maybe like frame this downward, so like it frames and connects over here, frames and connects over there, and then you get sort of like a walkway that then opens up to this space, and this is hidden a little bit more. But I think it's headed in the right direction. It's just always one of those things. It's hard to think outside of a pillar because that's what we've got, you know. But I think a little heftiness, like, and maybe more of a colonnade through here could be very visually appealing in many ways. Get that lined up. Then you could do, these aren't lined up properly, but then you could start adding more of those in and create more of the colonnade effect, and potentially like run these down through here and create little spaces in between each one of them that like then you can place different things in each one of these as well. It gives you some more opportunities to add more stuff in. You did stuff in there, I believe. In here? Oh yeah, he did. Very nice. This is one of the more detailed out areas that I've seen done in here as well. Very nice. Jump. Here we go. Love the little lab bases. And fun, because this will be here forever, and at some point they'll patch it out so we can't do it anymore. But very well done. Very well done. In terms of the functionality, I think that was one place I said that we could improve upon potentially. Just in the sense of not necessarily functionality in this sense, but the design of the functionality, I think, is where you could have a lot of fun in the way this is tied together. Where you kind of have like I don't know why my brain is just stuck on it, but like a sphere in between the two, that you can't build a sphere or anything, but like some interior space that like connects both of you so you can both walk from one space in your base to the other person's into like a central crafting type area. So I think that would be one way the function could be improved. But in terms of like the actual functionality of the base, I think it'd give you an 8 out of 10. I think there's potential for like taking it from, as I said, like this functions, it works, it does what it needs to do, to now the function becomes a really interesting design aspect. It could be really interesting to see how you tie these two together, so you both maybe get a central location where you can both build from. That doesn't feel like his base has all the stuff and your base has cool spaces and stuff, but you're kind of left alone without all the cool things and access to the chests, or you have to go outside your base portion of the base to get to the chests and everything if you did need something, or if it didn't reach. It could be a really interesting design aspect to add to. The theme and continuity is really hard on this one. I'm not totally sure, honestly, how I would grade that sense of this, because the continuity is between one base and another base. And so I think maybe this is where I would make the most improvements, as I was saying, like in terms of like what is your design and his design visually on the exterior, whether it's you get triangles, he gets verticals, or you get verticals, he gets triangles. His is like, yours has maybe a lot of materials and like this design where there's a lot more visually going on, and his base maybe is more simplistic on the exterior and uses one material. There's a million options. I can only throw out the random things I'm thinking of, but I think that visually would be the one place where like the theme and continuity could be really interesting, in terms of the theme is totally different between the two, but it still reads as one base where there's like a central piece connecting them in some way. It'd be very interesting to see that, but I think the theme and the exterior and the continuity, I think, between like each base reading as its own could be an interesting way to kind of solve that puzzle of how it works together. So I think I'll give you like a 7 on the continuity and theme side, just because I think there's so much potential that you could really push this to something incredible with the potential of it. So I grade you only a little bit lower because I see so much potential for that concept to be like really taken to the next level for the whole base. I think it'd be such a unique base to see something like that. Not that you have to do that, not that like my idea is the only idea, but I think there could be some really fun things that could be done with that visually to like create one of the most unique bases we've seen in that sense. The overall creativity, I think it's really fun. I think I'd give you an 8 out of 10. I think there's areas that are really interesting as every base. I think there's areas, of course, that you guys haven't finished and you're still collecting materials and everything. Fell through the roof. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I think you're both headed in the right direction. I think it's really interesting, and I want to see that yin and yang styling, just because I think it'd be so interesting to see that pulled off. And looking at the base design, I think you guys have the design sense together between the different ideas that you've got. That you could create something really interesting that comes together is something really unique. I think it's really fun. And the overall potential, I think I have to give you a 10 on the potential side of this, because I see that concept becoming so interesting, and I love seeing a base that isn't necessarily being built in the standard conventions of how we've seen other bases, where like typically you're watching. The hardest part about building with people is that you can tell when 2 or 3 or 4 people are building together, because it very quickly becomes like that's where that person designed, and that's where that person designed, and that's where the other person designed, and none of it like comes together as the bigger image. But the way you guys have done it, like separating one thing into 2 separate things at the same time, I think is a way that you could like, the potential is endless. Like there's so much opportunity with that concept of the yin and yang and stuff. So I appreciate you playing with that idea, because I think it could be something super unique that we haven't really seen before. And you both have enough design sense from the way you've done the fun little details, the exterior spaces, the crazy way this is all connected in different ways. I think you both have the potential to make it into something really next level. I think you just takes a lot of time and effort is all, as always. But once again, thank you Baggins, Kesha Stone as well. Appreciate you guys letting me look this out. Hopefully the comments helped and I didn't ruin the entire vision too much with my own ideas, but I think you have a lot of potential here. I think it's gonna be really cool. I'd be very excited to see kind of how you continue out this design and just keep going with it, because I think you both are headed in a really good direction, and there's a lot of potential and interesting things to see as you continue building this out and finish things as well. Especially once we get more materials and stuff too. I could see some really interesting things with like mushroom bricks and ash cement and pine cones and all those things. Like there's a lot of fun stuff you can do as we get more materials, because we're stuck with a small palette of stuff. So there's only so much you can do, but I think it's a really good start. I think it's really interesting, and it could be a lot of fun to see it designed out and finished with that concept. But once again, thank you for letting me look at this one. Excited to see updates and stuff as well. Definitely gonna do the yin and yang thing. Awesome, love to hear it. I try not to like impose my own concepts and thoughts onto the design and stuff, but I also like when I see something like that, I can't help but run with it because I think it's such an interesting concept if you could pull it off. Yeah, I'd love to come back and see what you guys do with it. I think it'd be very, very fun. And really glad I could help. Very happy able to help and show stuff off. Especially ones like that, being able to offer some more concepts. I think that's one of the harder things to do is come up with a concept and stick with it. And so when you have an interesting concept like that, it opens up the design potential for some really cool ideas. Okay. Why we came to you, definitely for your advice and ideas. Let's go. Appreciate the trust in me. Just a random dude that builds stuff in games. Appreciate you guys all trusting me with your hard work. Whoa, spoilers. Oh. Alright, what's down here? Okay.
This counts as research, right?
I believe this is the base I'm working. Oh, there you are. I can skip it if you want, E30. If you want some more time, I will happily. I can save yours for next week if you'd like. You are just next up on the list. But if you'd like a little more time, absolutely happy to. We have plenty of other bases to review. No issues at all. I'll happily give you time. I want you guys to feel like you're showing off your best work. I don't want to make you feel pressured if you're not quite ready. At night. It's almost night. All right, give me just a couple seconds. I'm going to go to the bathroom real fast. And I will be right back. But yeah, seriously, if you're not ready, I'm absolutely fine waiting. We have plenty of other stuff to do. You can absolutely take another week. Seriously. Don't feel pressured because I'm in the world. Like, we have another 10 bases that I can go through. So I have plenty of stuff to keep going if you'd like time. And I have no problem just moving you to first next week or whatever. Yeah. Think about it. Think about it for a sec. Don't feel any pressure at all. I'll be right back. Give me 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Thank you for sticking around. Yes, Ducky, I did see the bird. I did promise I see all your messages about Discord, but I can't get sidetracked in the middle of the base tour. You definitely have a bird ship now. And yes, Drew and Kesha, once again, thank you. Appreciate you guys. I saw your messages, by the way. Thank you for commenting on the Ranger Station as well in chat. Oh, good, Ducky. I can't read. I can't jump in between Discord and the review at the same time. My brain can't handle it. ADHD doesn't work like that. If I get on Discord, I'll be there for another 20 minutes. We'll get distracted. It'll all fall apart. I got to stay on track. I already talked too long for these anyway. If I had nothing better to do, I could talk about every one of these spaces for an hour. No hesitation whatsoever. All right. Sounds good, E30. As long as you're ready. Also, if anyone doesn't know, E30 has one of the freaking craziest grounded 1 bases I've ever seen. So at some point, which potentially in the near future, especially because we got, 9 bases left on the list. And naturally, by next Tuesday, we'll have another 5 people who reach out. But I have a feeling we're going to come to the point where we start to run out of bases to do for Grounded 2, and we are going to do a Grounded 1 super base review where I'm going to show off one of Ludorav's insane bases that no one has seen yet, unless you've been in his world and stuff. Show off Alfredo the Impostas. We got Grim, E30. We have some Grounded 1 bases that are for a review stream. It's just going to be I don't think there's going to be necessarily scoring or anything, but it's just going to be a massive mega base crazy night of just showing off the craziest things ever made in Grounded 1 that we possibly can. So I think it'll be really cool. I'm really excited about it. I know it's going backwards, but in this big of a gap between updates and stuff, it feels like the perfect time. C Dinky made a Grounded 1 video that he just put out. I'm it feels like a great time in the near future to potentially do some Grounded 1 base reviews, especially for people like Kesha. You want to start playing Grounded 1 so bad. I think for the people that are playing Grounded 2 and have not played Grounded 1 and are sort of feeling like they're in this limbo world because it's early access and there's not as much stuff to do currently in the game. If you haven't played Grounded 1, I highly suggest that you do, because it's so good. Also, I forgot I have 2 Founders Packs codes, and I also have a Grounded 1 game code from the devs themselves. And so I was thinking about doing a giveaway. And we have 45 people between Twitch and YouTube. And if people are interested in a Grounded 2 Founders Pack or Grounded 1, I would be happy to do a quick little giveaway if people are interested. I was planning on doing it on the stream. I totally forgot about it tonight, but would be the perfect opportunity. So if you guys are interested, we could do a little giveaway. If you don't have the Founders Pack, so you get the skin, this would be a great time to get it. I have 2 Founders Packs to give away, and I also have a Grounded 1 code to give away. So, if you guys are interested, I think everyone would just need to type !giveaway. And we could do the Grounded 2 Founders Packs first. And then after that, we would do 2 spins, and then we do a Grounded 1 giveaway. So if you're interested in a Grounded 2 Founders Pack code, feel free to type in !giveaway, and I can do a quick spin. If we get enough. There's only one. I don't know if we can do it. But I know there's 30 people in here plus in YouTube, and there's more on Twitch as well. And I don't know who doesn't want some free stuff, right? I can't give them, Ducky. You gotta win it. You gotta get the lucky spin, you know? You gotta spin to win. There you go. Get these added in. Anyone else? I'll go give you guys 60 seconds. Otherwise, it's going to be a low giveaway. And you guys have some great odds. Might everyone get one? We're 3, so you have a 2 out of 3 chance to get a Founders Pack. Anyone else? If you have a friend, feel free. If you already have Founders Pack and you're interested and you got a friend that you want to play the game, throw in giveaway as well. I'm happy to give them. This is for anyone who doesn't have the game. If you've got your best friend, your little brother, your parents, anyone and everyone, you can give it away. All right, at 9:38 on my screen. Oh, you guys can't even see it. Last chance. Give everyone 10 more seconds. Those who don't have it, put your bid in. Is that it? Are you trying to get in, Joiner? You want in on this? We got 2, so the odds are great. The odds are great. What is Dare Bear? Alrighty. Forever hold your peace. This is your last chance to get in on the Founders Pack edition of Grounded 2. You just got it today. Very nice. Do you have the Founders edition, though? You get the 4 extra skins. If you don't know what those are, that's what these skins I'm wearing are. So you get 4 different skins. For people who don't know what the Founders edition is, they're kind of fun. Not necessarily anything ridiculous, but they are fun little additions to the game. And they're free. So that's, you know, that's just a win. The rogue looks weird with the armor on. Add your friend Dare Bear. Are you Dare Bear? I think Dare Bear has to be here. I think he's got to be here, Ducky. If they're in chat and they say hello, I will add them. But otherwise, I think that's a little... Good to hear, Joiner. Good to hear. All right. The first Founders Pack edition of Grounded 2. Gonna spin. And we got a thief. Let's go. There you go. First one's going to a thief. Congratulations. Congratulations on that. I can show you their Steam. Well, no, they got to be here for the giveaway, my dude. That's all good. It's all luck of the draw, man. That's how it goes. Yes, I will. I'll send you the code here after stream, a thief. Yes, anyone can enter, peasant. Anyone can enter. Would you like in on the second roll? Pressing buttons now. Peasant's in there. And 1 is not a thing. All right, you're in it. You're in it for the second one. A thief in the night, right? Yeah, I'll message you on Discord, a thief, after stream. All right, we're going to go for the second Founders Pack as well. Another Grounded 2 Founders Pack. Good luck, everybody. Let's see what happens. Oh, and it is Ducky. There you go, Ducky. You got it. You got it, my friend. See, sometimes luck is on your side. So, A Thief and Ducky, congratulations for your Founders 2-packs. Now, we have a Grounded 1 code. Not sure if everyone is interested in Grounded 1, but if you're interested in Grounded 1, let's do giveaway, exclamation point giveaway again, just so we make sure. I'm not sure if everyone on this list wanted a Grounded 1 code necessarily. If you already have it, it is just the base Grounded 1 game, nothing special, just the regular one. Nothing too crazy, but again, let's do another exclamation point giveaway for the Grounded 1 code. I will give you guys till 9:45 my time, so 3 more minutes to get it in. Grounded 1 is special enough on its own. It really is. It really is. I joining the stream for the first time, not too used to Grounded building focused community, but I'm super interested in learning. Well, yeah, that's what we do. I mean, that's the great thing about building in this game is that there is so much more. It's sort of like an additional thing, the way I like to think of it, at least. You get building is a way to extend the gameplay of an amazing Grounded game. Like, Grounded is amazing. It's so much fun. The story's fun. The combat's fun. The exploration's fun. And the way I've always liked to think of it, specifically, is that building helps extend the playtime you get. So in the first game, I've beat everything in the game. I have 100% of the game. I'm in New Game plus 7 or 8 now, and we have 3,000 hours in the game. And a lot of it's been spent building, but it's allowed me to play 3,000 hours of a single-player story game, which is pretty insane. So welcome in, Lurkfang, by the way. Welcome to a great community, and we play a lot of Grounded. We play a lot of building games. We build cool things. We talk about design. And we also, yeah, I'd like to think we're pretty good at the game. I build a lot of stuff, and like Tour Tuesdays are specifically focused only on building, but the rest of the time we do everything. You're a big fan of all those, or you're in the right place. We're definitely in the right place. The giveaway for an Xbox/PC copy, or is it for Switch as well? I want to say it would be Xbox PC. I'm not 100% sure how that part works. I was just told that they were keys. This works on both console, cloud, and PC. So it could be on everything. I don't 100% know. But worst comes to it, if you want in on the Grounded 1 code and it doesn't work for you, we can give it away to someone else if it doesn't work for you. If that's how it ends up and you win. All good. We happily do that if it works out that way. Join for your nephew. Love to hear that. That's awesome. That's not the right name. Copied your name and it didn't paste. There we go. All right. Last chance. 10 more seconds to get your exclamation point giveaways in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. That extra spot out of here. There's an extra. What is this? We'll see. If it lands on the blank one, we'll just do it. Of course it lands on the blank. Of course. So now we can just... Perfect. It was like we planned it that way the whole time. Everything works for a reason, right? Alrighty. Here is for the Grounded 1 game code. A peasant. Let's go. Congratulations, man. Grounded 1 code. Very, very cool. I will message a thief, Ducky, and Peasant here after stream, and I will send you guys your codes. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being awesome and joining in on the fun and being here. Love that I was able to reward you guys for being here as well. All right, let me just all my pen. And then we will get right into it. The next base review. Perfect. Notepad is the way to go. I've got too many of those. Dude, I have a notepad for random notes, big pad for big notes, a notebook for ideas, and then a to-do list for things to do. And then I have a work notepad too for work, my actual job. That's the only way I can get anything done and not remember everything. Hey, welcome in, Frostbit. How you doing? Wait, what did I just get? You got a Founders 2 grounded game. We might be the same person. It's possible. Do you have ADHD? Expecting a big notebook for big ideas. I mean, it's not a big notebook, but it's got, I mean, there's a lot of, can't really see, it's all black, but I got the first 20 pages filled with concepts, video ideas, all sorts of random stuff. Many things. Welcome in. Doing good, Frostbit. You give notes to base reviews? Yeah, it's too many notes. Perfect. That's awesome, Ducky. Love to hear it. You can play with a friend. That's the goal. The whole point. Get more people playing a great game. They can get it for free. That's a win. How's the stream been tonight? Awesome. It's been really good. We've had some really, really cool bases so far. Had some big ones. We've had a lot of like really well designed, like, can't really call them small bases, maybe intermediate, like medium sized bases, not like mega builds, but they've all been like really well detailed. A lot of interesting concepts and things going on in them. They've been really cool. Got so many notebooks. The problem is I run out of paper, so I end up crafting my own note sheets. That's fun. Like my wife is like the opposite. She doesn't do notebooks and notepads and sticky notes and stuff. She draws her own personal calendars that she can customize herself. Like that's her way of doing notes and everything. But that's the only way I can even remember anything on a daily basis. Impossible otherwise. Does the code have a date that I have to use it by? I don't think so. Not that I know. I don't think it makes any difference when you use it. It should just be a code for the game. It'll be good whenever. You have the base game. It's just the Founders Pack, so it's the game plus the 4 skins is the only difference. But if your friend doesn't have it, the Founders Pack isn't like not going to change your life. It just gives you like skins like what I'm wearing. So wouldn't necessarily say you need it. It'd be more fun to have a friend play with you, I'd assume. No, this is so we gave away, sorry, you just joined. So we gave away, I was given, because of the Extra Life charity event that we were doing, Eric, the community manager, gave me, Jade, Dinky, Apex, and Paralyzer all 2 Founders Pack edition, or Founders Pack Steam codes, game codes, and then a Grounded 1 game code as well. So we each got to give away on our streams or our channel 2 Founders Packs for Grounded 2, and then 1 Grounded 1 game, base game, just set up. It's an amazing amount of determination to draw her own calendar. Yeah, I don't get how she does it. I'm just like, I'll buy a calendar and make it work. I'm crafty and creative, but not in that sense. If I can buy it easier, I'm just buy it. I'd rather have my notebook with all the things already written out. I'll get distracted making the notebook and not do any of the things that I said I was gonna do. This is the way. I don't take notes. I just forget 50% of what I'm supposed to remember. Yeah, without the notes, that's my life. Yep. No worries on the damage, man. You're good. That's life. Trust me. If anyone's got damage problems in their base, it's a thief. Not to call you out. Your base like looks like it had been attacked for a century. I was laughing because it's the worst because you can't fix half of it. It was like the worst thing. Things break and then you're like, well, the game lets me fix half of them and I'm not going to go and move all of them back. Help you out a little bit. Look at that. I'm so helpful. Yeah, like that. Like this one just doesn't want to do it. It's such a pain. It's one of those things. It's such a pain to fix most of this stuff till they make it work properly. And yes, Moobs is a great guy. I freaking love Eric. Eric's awesome. Yeah, I fanboyed hard the other couple weeks back when the Obsidian account and Eric were both chilling in my base. If you're wondering why I'm just talking, E30 asked specifically for it to be night when we go up. So I was letting it get real dark real fast. I should have said that sooner. I'm not just talking for no reason. Yeah, I love the devs of this game. Enshrouded, that's another reason I love Enshrouded. The Enshrouded devs are also equally awesome. Very, very good development team. Very fun. Okay. Next up, we have E30 BMW. We have another sort of statue area, build area out here on the front. Should be a fun one. If you haven't seen E30 stuff, they have some crazy Grounded 1 stuff that we're gonna be showing off at some point. But I'm excited to get to show off some of their Grounded 2 stuff first. Then we can see the things they've spent thousands of hours on, because it's crazy. So, is that a spaceship? What? What? That actually looks like a UFO. What the heck? I was not expecting that. That's crazy. Oh, that's freaking cool. Yeah, we're gonna have to fly around and look at that. So, we'll start in this one, because it's the first one I saw. Interesting aesthetic for the all stem build, but I'm already kind of getting blown away by the UFO, so this is gonna be crazy. Already really like the lighting as well, like the floor that you've done here, especially like using all quarter floors and then lighting it all up, looks super clean. This honestly kind of feels like the ultimate like man cave garage type space, like. And I have no clue if that's at all the intention, but it kind of like immediately reminds me of like a really well organized garage. And like my dream garage, like perfectly organized. Everything's like where it's meant to be, lined up really well. You get the basketball hoop in here. Feel free to chime in, E30, if I'm just talking about what I see. But if there's anything specific you want to comment on about it, I will definitely add that in. I like the way you've broken this up scale-wise. Like, it's really interesting, maybe on the outside being all stem, it's a little more bland. I guess I don't want to use, like, it's not a negative word necessarily, but it's repetitive in the sense that it's all one material, but somehow you've utilized one material on the inside as a really, like, the, like, modules that you've created here look really, really clean in many ways. I don't know what you came up with for these ideas, but it looks really nice. I don't know, there's just something about like these things all being trapped in their own little thing. Looks really clean. I really like it. And the roof as well, the ceiling, or so, just broken up with the quarter walls, looks really nice. It's a really small detail that I don't know, a lot of people would probably overlook, but I think it looks really cool. It's a cool little effect. You got like another little outside seating area over here. Was going for the garage look, dude, that's how you know. If I immediately think exactly what you're going for, that you've knocked it out of the park. It's just so funny. I love, and like, it's not a testament to me at all. It is a testament to your guys' like building skills that I can like immediately just randomly say like, oh, this immediately looks like a garage, and you're like, that's what I was trying to do. It's a huge success on the design sense. I also like your little like patio kind of walkway here. This is also very well done. Really nice little details for people who have maybe not played as much Grounded 1 as you have. Really fun way to do flooring is to place the quarter walls in between pieces like this. Creates a really nice effect. Kind of gives like a fishing dock vibe almost at the same time. Very interesting. I like those on there as well. Night, Kesha. Appreciate you hanging out. Catch you on the next one. quiet this thing. But yeah, like I said, lighting, awesome. The interior detail work it's very cool. Like the garage, like even like the hanging storage from a garage is like spot on. Absolutely spot on. Let's see, what else? Let's go in this one first. Armor dummies. It's art. I haven't seen that art. I need to look at the art. So many new ones. Like little bedroom space. Again, messing with the cool ceiling pattern as well. Love that. A really cool ceiling. Looks really nice. Well, like loft space up here in your bedroom. Not done with the top floor yet. All good, all good. Morning, Felix. Welcome in. Morning for some, night for others. 10 o'clock at night here. I love people from other parts of the world chiming in. Love to hear it. There's even a dude getting abducted. Dude, this is so creative, dude. This freaking... We don't even need to see anything else. Your perfect little UFO. It's so funny. It looks so much more detailed from below. That's hilarious. It reads so well as a UFO from far away. It's so funny. For just roofs and curved floors, that looks so much better than it should. Like, it shouldn't be this cool for how simple it is, but it's such a good idea, dude. Oh, I freaking love it. We have yet to see a UFO, and like perfect use of the orc disruptor as well in this scenario. Like, absolutely perfect. I gotta say, my torches, it ruins the effect. Yeah, all the lights look really good, man. Yeah, like right when you can see that light, oh, perfect. Looks so good. Such a fun one. Very fun, man. Love it. Please don't die. Good. Hi, Timmy. How's it going? Love your little entry, like walkway spaces, little like patio porch kind of things. Looks really nice. Fun details as well. I don't think I've ever really seen anyone use the stairs as like an exterior detail. It's really interesting. Or easily overlooked, but even like adding extra detail like behind these also looks nice. 7 in the Netherlands? Awesome. Love to hear it. We going to bed. You're just getting started. Cool little doorway. Again, really good use of like the ladders and stuff. They're like hiding all these little details behind them. Looks really nice. Clipping those in. Yeah, this is awesome, man. Bright and early. Yeah, seriously. Very... Ooh, what is this? Dude, this looks incredible. Like, between the way you attach to the roof, this is super unique. I don't think we've seen any lighting source type thing like this. That looks really nice. And again, I love how you're hiding everything behind ladders and stuff as well. Very unique. Random little detail I don't think I've ever seen before, but I think it looks really... I've used them as like window details, but not like interior details like this. Really cool. Again, really like the floor designs as well. And then even like hiding these like the stools and everything. There's a lot of depth to how you've designed it. I mean, you've got like the stairs and the little sprig hand railing things as well. Like lots of little things that are really easy to overlook. Even like got like that the acorn. Oh yeah, that's the water collector as well. Like hidden in. Very well done. Watch a bit of Grounded 2 before you go to work. Love it. Best thing to do. Very interesting, man. It's a very unique build. Ooh. All right, I really like this ceiling pattern with that specific light combination. The smoothie maker, that's what it is. That's what it is. You're right, you're right. This looks really cool. I don't know what your plan is with all of this, but like that
that effect looks really clean. It's the little things that get me excited. And even like how you layered the floors so you could still put lights in and they didn't like hide everything. It's really interesting. Patio areas and stuff. And like your windows and everything. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Really intrigued to know like what the concept here is and like how you're coming up with this stuff. What you're planning to do with these different spaces. It looks very like a very interesting start. There's a lot of potential with the random designs that you're working with here. I think that's all of this one. Unless we've missed any hidden stuff. I think there's one other base over here. A little spot. More fun floor patterns. You got your buggy stuff over here. Again, the nice double, like putting a half wall underneath these and raising them all up looks really... Just a really clean lighting effect. Just very simple. Not over the top. It's not too much. It creates like a much nicer, like homey feeling. I don't know. It really brings the interiors to life, honestly. Ladder. It's your friend's base. Should I grade it really harshly? Oh my gosh, Timber loved my base, dude. But
rehydrating.
Seems like he's done a good job taking your lighting effects, which I really like. Very nice. Let me know if I missed anything. Any other things you'd like to show off? Looks like one of those fancy houses with the under counter lights. Yes, exactly. It's exactly what it feels like. Before we get into the grading, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Have the pop bottle base if you want. Where's that one? Over there. I could show it off if you want, or we could grade this one and look at it afterwards. It's totally up to you. This is your world. We're just playing in it. I can't even remember where the soda cans are. Red. Oh. What? This red skull? What am I missing? Is there another red skull? Am I blind? Is it underneath? Near my base. Over there. I was like, where's my base? Buggy?
Get home safe. I'm
Come
ready
here,
for
buggy,
pickup.
buggy. Blue
10 legs
skull.
total. We're
Purple
favorite new mode
circle?
of transportation.
Oh, there it is. Why was that like not showing behind? Weird. It just wasn't visually showing up was more the issue. So the
As Alan would say.
oh, hide. Ouch. Why is everyone attacking me? Oh, getting attacked. So this one? Or is this what you want to show off, OG? I know the soda can's over here, isn't it? This one? I don't think that's it. Or is it the white skull?
Oh, it's a wine, the wine bottle. Okay. This is a new one. All right, we gotta check it out.
This should protect my internal organs.
Want some? Can't see with you standing in the way, buggy. Alright, there we go. White skull, blue skull, yellow skull.
Nothing like H2O.
Eat it before it goes bad.
It melts right off the exoskeleton.
You want me to show off the stuff over here? You have a fun little pathway going on here. Or is this a secret? Can't help but see a little bit. No, Timber, you're not supposed to see that base. Oh, dang it. I like what you've done here. That looks really nice. That's a really nice little effect. It's your friends, all good, all good. Fun little base. I like the connection between them.
You have to give young ones some independence.
Let the scorpion go. All right, run. It's a fun little pathway. I know it's super random, but I'm enjoying it. Fun little lights. You got your sap collectors. This. Like ouch. Went down the hole. What are these things all attacking? Alright. I'll get into it. Angry dudes. So I haven't seen a wine bottle yet. I've thought about building inside. I didn't know if you could or couldn't build in these. So it's really interesting to see that you actually can build in them. Very cool. Fun little design. Again, really good job with the lighting. Very well done with the lighting. Very similar to like your Grounded 1 stuff that I had seen. The lighting was like super cool. This, in terms of like the entrance for a wine bottle or champagne bottle, whatever it is, this feels perfect. The like linear like progression through this with the lighting feels perfect. Very, very fitting. Again, the lighting is also very cool. You get free food source here too. Wow. Again, really, really well done. I really like this ceiling. The way you've like incorporated these, this is some of the stuff we had messed with in Grounded 1, but in such a different, unique way. Like this looks really cool as a ceiling, along with like continuing this same fun detailing. Again, really like the way you've like divided these up and used the stem half wall, vertical half walls as well to like. I really like this like white side of this first seeing this. Like the contrast between the two looks really nice. Man, you should have posted this as a starter base option. This is really cool. There's so much detail packed into this thing, which is crazy. You got pallets and stuff. I mean, everything you could possibly need is here in such a small, compact area. Done a very good job laying this out. I think it's very, very cool. Very simple. Is it simple? I don't know. It's good. It's very complicated, but in such a small, perfect little way. And like the little room here, you even have the ant. Fit the entire ant nest in here. It's crazy. Yeah, these steps are honestly like so creative, Ether. So creative. I really like the way you've like utilized these in all these little spaces. It's such an interesting little detail, like utilizing this and the angle.
Very cool. And yeah, as Pasta said, we're going to start seeing more people use the steps creatively after this tier. It adds a nice complexity to walls and ceiling. It really does. Like, it adds that extra level of detail that you just really, you can't get any other way. They're really unique. There's just a war going on outside. But man, like, dude, even hiding the dew collectors and stuff, this is cool. I'm a big fan of your interior design. I think you blow it out of the water. Like, you've blown it out of the water. This looks so cool. In such a small area, I think is what's even cooler. Like, this is so much detail in such a small space. It's really, really cool. You should absolutely patent this and use it on everything, because this is super, super unique. I don't think I've ever... I don't even know if I've seen any grounded 1 builds that utilize the back of stairs like this. It's a very unique design. Very interesting. Maybe visually, like, overstimulating for some, but I am a massive fan of how much stuff you packed in this tiny, tiny space. Like, this is a level of interior design. I mean, you got your own little, like, fireplace built in. Like, it has everything. There's so much detail. It's so incredibly difficult to put this much stuff in such a small space so effectively. Because it's maybe visually overstimulating for some in terms of there's just a lot going on, there's a lot of colors and stuff. But if you took all of that, like the extra details away, like it is a perfect functioning micro base. Which is improved even more by the fact that there's so much detail into it. Like, I am going to steal this somehow. I don't know how, but I'm absolutely going to use this, like, chandelier design at some point, because this looks so freaking cool. Like, the little square within a square is so cool. That ceiling just looks phenomenal. Yeah, I'm really glad we looked at this, because this is super cool, dude. Very difficult. Not an easy base to lay out that effectively and have worked that well. Honestly, very cool. Thank you for mentioning it. It would have been a huge missed opportunity to not see this. And like so little of this, like as actually sticking through. Like looking at the inside, I honestly would expect that like so much of this would be sticking out because there's so much happening. The fact that it's like the ant nest and some little tiny pieces sticking out is also like, it's really hard. Do you have a spider inside? Here, there's like, you don't even see this. You literally can't even see this unless you're on top of the bottle. Like, the level of detail, attention to detail, I guess is a better way to put it, is really well done. On both sides, both bases as well, but I'm really impressed by this mini base as well. Yeah, I've always really enjoyed seeing like super functional, perfect, like safe bases like that. Yeah, seeing like, we've seen a lot of really good can bases, but I feel like the can bases are maybe they're like, it's a easier shape, I guess, to just put things in. There's an automatic little door, but like to get all of this fit in this like long narrow thing, it doesn't even feel like, when you're inside of it, you don't even know that you're in the like champagne or wine bottle. You have no clue. Very cool. Very well done. Honestly, 2 epic bases.
10 legs total. We're a crab.
Can't believe you whine about the square footage of this bottle.
Way to get around.
Pasta, you're killing me.
This is not a good place to bring a buggy.
Perhaps not.
What are we doing here? Just got stuck. What? Guess we're hoofing it? Spider just decided to get stuck. Yeah, very cool, man. I've only seen like the screenshots of your grounded 1 stuff were super impressive. There's so much going on that a picture does not do it justice. So I'm really excited to see all this detail work that you've put into these bases, put in a grounded 1 world where you've spent a crazy amount of time as well. It'll be really fun to see. Oh, now you want to show up. Whatever. Run away. Fine. I didn't need your help.
Tam, welcome in, by the way. Yeah, perfect timing to not have no clue that the base you were in was a wine bottle. Honestly, probably perfect timing to see that. Very cool. All right, so in terms of the grades, the first impressions, I love that your bases, like from the exterior, are very unassuming. You have no clue. They kind of have like a modern house sort of aesthetic. Like design-wise, like the more square, rectangular styling to it, which is kind of interesting, a really unique and different build style than I've seen. And you wouldn't guess, looking at like all the stem on the outside, like how crazy the details are on the inside. You and Ludorev, like that's the crazy detailing on the insides. That's like what I strive to be. I tend to do like great exterior designs and like passable interior designs. Like some of them are really good, some of them are meh on a lot of mines, but like your interior and like layout work is crazy. It's super, super cool. So I'd probably, like, on first impressions, without knowing what the insides are, outside of like if we don't look at the freaking awesome UFO, like if it wasn't there, they're just such simple, kind of unassuming houses that have a lot of details that you really have to work to find. Like they're not just like, here's the design, here it is. Like you really have to look, which is it's a fun way to experience it. It's not at all like a negative comment by any way. I like that they're kind of unassuming, and then you go inside a wine bottle and you're like, what? And then you look at this and there's like a perfect garage, and the housing, like the houses feel so cool, and the lighting is really well done. So like first impressions, I'd probably say in terms of like what I like about it is that it's like a 7 or so on the outside. It's like, okay, these are cool, well designed, they're fun little, they're unique in many ways. And until you get in the inside and realize that like, oh, the inside of this is like a 10. Like some of my favorite interior detailing that I've seen so far. We've seen some really, really cool ones, but you have such a unique style, I guess is the best way to put it, that it is like that home, like you go over to your friend's house and they're like, oh, here's my house, it's all good. And then you go inside and you're like, dude, you've got a freaking basketball court hidden in your house, in a secret room to like a freaking man cave, and like you have all, like I have a buddy that has a house, his dad has a house like that, and he's got like this crazy coffee bar, sports memorabilia thing, like man cave, but then there's a secret doorway that he dug out underneath his house. And that is exactly how this, like what this reminds me of, is like until you explore everything, you have no clue what you're about to see, which I think is a really fun, like, reveal kind of experience to see in a base and just be like, yeah, these look like cool houses. They're kind of simple. And then you're like, wait a second. I'm seeing, like, some of these smaller details. And then there's, like, so much work put into these. And then you look at them at night, and then the lighting's even better. And then you're not even, like, looking at the fact there's a freaking UFO abducting someone on the top of it. Like, it's a really fun, like way to explore a base in many ways. So it's like unassuming in the best way possible. In terms of layout and interior, some of my absolute favorite interior designs that we've seen so far. The outsides are like a really unique take on a house. We really haven't seen anything kind of all one material for the most part. There's a couple extra things, of course. I'm kind of simplifying for explanations purposes, but they're just like cool, well-designed little houses, and then the insides are like everyone's dream interiors and stuff. So I'd have to give you, honestly, I want to give you a 10. I know there's work to be done. You haven't finished the upstairs and stuff, but the detail work you have on the interior is by far some of my favorite that I've seen so far. I think it's super unique. The way, like, everywhere you're using stairs in this build is like unique in every way, shape, or form. Then you've got your lighting is a 10 as well on all the interior stuff. It just is super clean. It's very inviting. I really, really like the interiors and designs of these, and how you just like, you walk into like pure creativity. And this is the best way to put it. And the way you've hidden so many details. Like, everywhere you look, there's something new to see that I've probably missed so quickly. I mean, even just this little like center piece with the egg, the hatchery sort of thing, or egg storage, is like so well done. But then again, like all of the interior work that you did with stairs, the wine bottle, again, like phenomenal. That would have been probably my winning vote for the starter base, honestly, if you were
if you were part of the base build competition that we did a week or two ago, like that would have been the starter base to win, because it was so well designed. And this one, in very similar ways, has so many little fun details just about the way you've done it all. Like the interior design work is super clever, and you go from like this really heavily designed and like decor intensive piece, and then you like go upstairs to like this really clean, I mean, look at the lighting in here between your lighting and the natural lighting. Like, looks so good. Like, it's such a simple upstairs area with like an open roof, but it looks like magical in here for a place you haven't even finished. I just get super excited seeing the level of detail and stuff. Like, I think it looks really, really interesting. Even with nothing in here, this is a really cool space. I think you've done a phenomenal job. It's literally my favorite interior design work. I think it's phenomenal. And a freaking UFO. Like, what? Trying to finish my base to try and get a review? Yeah, just reach out to me on Discord. And send me your Xbox username. And I will get you added to the list whenever you're ready. Doesn't have to be right away. We'll be doing these for a while. Yeah, man, very well. The materials and exterior, it's really interesting. I hate stem builds typically, but for some reason, like all one material, a lot of it works. I think if I'm looking and grading like between the two, I think I enjoy this side more, this design a bit more. Just because the shaping, the balcony does a really good job dividing this, and whereas like this one reads more as all stem, which isn't necessarily a bad thing by any means. I think what you've done is really good in every way. I really do enjoy it. But I think shape-wise, this one breaks things up better, whereas like this one, the box shape of it, the more square, even though there is some bump outs and stuff, it doesn't quite read as nice as this one. The way you've like added these little details in, for as weird as it is, like for being all the same material, this one feels like there's so much going on, even though it's all one material. And I think it's because like the overhangs really like pop, and the way they're lit right now specifically creates so much depth in the design, like a very legit house design. Like it feels like how a ton of houses are designed these days. Very similar style and shaping. It's like there's probably two of these across the street from my house in the little neighborhood I live in. And I like the shape and the design of this one a little bit better. I think something about the ins and outs and the depth of it just reads as a house more, I guess is the best way to put it. And this one tends to feel maybe a little bit flatter. So I probably on the exterior and the materials, I think you're between a 7 and 8, maybe a little closer to 7. But I think this one's more of like an 8, and this one's more like a 7. And I think I would love to see like some of this detail work brought into the exterior of this one, where it's like maybe these spaces become more balconies or something. Because I really like the garage. I mean, dude, this even looks like a garage. Like literally, I didn't just notice this. Like that looks like, in the best way that you could possibly do it in this game, like a garage door that's all rolled up. Like you've done a phenomenal job with the details. The lighting, I really like this exterior patio space. I think that all works really well, and it makes a lot of sense. But I think there's just some continuity of this side that feels a little bit better, that I want to see a little bit of this brought over to this side potentially, just on the exterior. Just because I think this one's working maybe a little bit better for me. But just a little. Smaller house was my first attempt at this style. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that you really took lessons from how this looked and have done a really, really good job on this one. I know for some people, sticking with one material makes so much sense, and I don't necessarily think you have to use multiple materials, but this one specifically is like, if you're going to use one material, this would be my like This is what I would show everyone. That's like, how do you make a one material base not look super flat and boring? Everything you're doing here is perfect. Like the balconies, the overhang from the roof, the using the little squares, like it adds a lot of shading to it. So I think you've done a really good job on the upgrades to this one. I think it looks really, really nice. I think it reads very much like a legit house, which I think is impressive and difficult to do in this game in many ways. And this one, the interior of this one, the garage, like it is working very well, but there's just a couple elements that make this one really shine comparatively. But I also do like enjoy how you're kind of clipping in multiple grids here to break this up. And this one, maybe more of this potentially could help it. This one maybe just feels a little more haphazard in certain areas. Like if you're looking at it from one side and you're only looking at it from one side, I think it reads a bit better. But then when you start kind of running around it, it sort of loses the continuity from the design that this one has going, like these big voids kind of coming through these bottom areas with the bigger overhangs from the balcony and the roof. Sort of read a little bit nicer. Some of these walls just get a little bit flat, even though I can see that you're messing with some different things here as well. I think both of them are unique in their own way. I think that's the hardest thing to do, is use one material and make it not feel super like one-dimensional. I think that's what's impressive here. I think it's a really difficult task to use one single material. That's why I typically push people to use more than one material, because I think it's a much easier way to achieve what you're doing, because what you've done is used one material, and the design work that you've done has broken it up really, really well, which is a much more architectural kind of thinking and design work. That it's working really well. Really like it. The structural side of it, it all works. I mean, there's not like a bunch of structure to necessarily look at, but they feel, we used to grade this one on maybe structural and realism. They really do feel like houses. Like the elements that you've made read as house and not just a base in a game where we're shrunken down the size of ants. I think that's one of the hardest things to do, is create like legitimate structures that read as a house, not just a base in a game. And I think that's kind of what's most impressive about like the structure or the engineer side of this, these designs, is that they look realistic in many ways and shapes. You've done a really good job on the aspects. So I'd probably give you, I guess, just a flat 8. It's kind of hard to say one way or another. It's not necessarily taking away or adding huge amounts. I think it's very realistic, especially this one. The wine base, I don't even know what you'd say on the structure of that. It's insane. Just the structure on that one's like a 9, because the roof or the ceiling design is kind of like a structural masterpiece in many ways. But I think you've done a really good job with all the little elements. Just like all the way you've broken it up, I think looks really nice. The functionality of it, they work. They function as legit houses, so I think I'd have to give you just another 8 on the function. And it's a really arbitrary grade. I say it all the time, but I like to talk just a little bit about it. You've done a good job sort of hiding function within these things. They're not detracting from the design, but they're all kind of there and working. You got all the function you need. So it's, I would say an 8 is sort of that score that you've done everything right. You're not necessarily have weird function where things aren't touching, or like they can't reach the chests and stuff, but you also have just enough that everything kind of feels like each base works on its own. You've like hidden in your chests and stuff really well. They kind of hide away. They don't become intrusive in the designs necessarily. So I think you've done a great job on that side of it. They work the way they're intended to, and it really does start feeling like a house. The theme and continuity, I think you've done an awesome job. I think, again, I'm going to focus more on the one that's the second attempt, where it's like you've sort of figured out the theme and the design of this. And I think this one I'd love to give like a 9 on it. I think the continuity of this side is lacking a little bit, just because it doesn't quite read as good as this one in the way you've like layered this material. This one reads maybe a little bit more stem heavy, whereas like this one I'm not. I'm normally heavily offended. It's just a funny wording, but it something about using one material, all grass, all stem, all pine. Like, I love the mixing and matching, and this is one of the first bases I've ever seen that I am like, that makes me want to build a full stem base. That shows me the potential of a single material so much more than I've ever done myself. So that I think is very impressive. So I'd want to give the theme and continuity of this base specifically a 9, and then maybe a 7 on this one, and then like a 10 on your wine bottle base, because that thing's insane. That literally everything about the wine bottle is a 10. That's like the perfect mini base. Like, I don't think you could do anything cooler or crazier in any way, shape, or form. I don't know how to tell you to do anything better on that one. I think it's phenomenal. So that one's perfect, and we'll leave it at that. Perfect 10s across the board for the wine bottle base, because I think it's super fun. And these ones I think are really fun experiments in like single material usage that I haven't seen done this successfully before. I think you've done a really good job on those. The overall creativity, again, I'll give you a 9 on the creativity. I think, like, I freaking love the interior, the design, the way you walk through these bases. The ceilings have detail, the floors have detail, like everything oozes creativity the way you've designed these bases. So I think you've done a phenomenal job on thinking how to use materials, the use of the stairs in ways we've never seen. Like, there's so many little things that I've never seen before. So you've absolutely killed it on the creativity side on all of this, and you're using materials together that I've not seen in ways before, which I think it makes the use of only stem even that much more impressive, because you're still only another acorn stairs, but they kind of fall in the same realm of visually looking items. So I think they look super good together, and you've done a great job. And the potential, I think you're on a 9 or more in terms of the potential, because this design, like, you could use this and make an entire like neighborhood of crazy houses in this area. Like the wine bottle, you could take those designs and use those anywhere, literally anywhere. You could have fun with these things. So I think that's really well done. There's a ton of potential for all of this. You could take this and put it anywhere on the map and it would look phenomenal. Like, it doesn't even have to be here and it would look good. So I think you're absolutely headed in the right direction with these designs. So stick with it. Keep it up. I want to see more of this. I was already excited to go see your Grounded 1 base from the screenshots. Now I'm even more excited, because now I know how crazy your design ideas are, and with like the 10 times the amount of items in Grounded 1, like, you have nothing but potential. Like, it's going to be such a cool base to see. So really well done, BMW. But thank you for letting me view this one. Another like epic base, epic designs. Each one of them was so unique. I think that's part of the fun, is each one of these was so unique in its own way. They weren't cut and paste. The wine bottle's totally different. The garage design in this one versus the interior design in this, like, your use of space in detail work is honestly like next level. It's really well done. You should be very proud of all these cool ideas, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a lot more of this stuff pretty soon here as people see this video, because I think it's gonna be really awesome. But once again, thank you, man. Appreciate you letting me take a look. Very well done. Lurk Fang, super great stopping by. I've got to get back to some late night projects, but I'll definitely stop by again soon. Sounds good. Thank you for hanging out with us. Can't wait till you catch up with us again. Awesome, man. That was impressive. I've been honestly blown away. You guys tonight, like, I love seeing the massive mega builds, the crazy castles and cathedrals. There's just something it's so different seeing the big bases versus the really detailed small bases. And there's just something so cool about the level of detail that you guys are putting into these small bases. And literally everyone tonight. Like, between like Jastia, like, had incredible details and designs, like really cool interior, really cool lighting. Ducky had the crazy shoe base with incredible interior work and the really cool airships and stuff. Like, Baggins, again, a really cool like small design with like really just simple, really well done design tonight. Same thing.
Baggins as well. Like really interesting ideas, really fun stuff to work with. Like every single base tonight has been something that I'm like, someone in this community is going to see that review and they're going to be absolutely in love with one like crazy cool design piece of each one of these bases. Like they've all been really, really cool. I love seeing, in contrast to like bigger isn't, I always love making the joke that bigger's better, but honestly, like these bases are perfect examples of why bigger is not always better. Why most people hate mega builds is because they never reach that level of design. They never reach that level of like detail work. And that's where most people, like that's where I try to, like these bases inspire me to make my mega bases that level of detail on the inside. Like that's where the really, really, really good mega bases that people make are the ones Ludorav's level of detail work on the inside. Pasta had really cool like storytelling interior work, but it is like so rare to get a mega base that has this cool of design. Like I tend to see the mega build stuff and be like, it's impressive because it's big and I know the time and effort it takes. But with these ones, there's a different level of time and effort in these smaller bases, because I can only imagine like E30, you've probably spent, how many days do you have on that world? Yeah, like 574. Like you've obviously spent a ton of time detailing and designing and coming up with these ideas. Like I think that's what's so freaking impressive. It's and it's so much more approachable, I think, is what's fun about the small bases, where like most people are just turned off from mega bases because they're big and they're hard to look at and say like I can build something like that, because most people aren't like insane like I am that want to build like massive bases necessarily. But like those are so approachable, and there's details in every single one of the bases tonight that like we can absolutely inspire people, and they're going to see a lot of your guys' ideas being utilized pretty soon here, or future bases. So very, very well done. You hope your base inspires people to build more? I can't imagine it wouldn't, Peasant. Did you send me screenshots? Pretty sure. Yeah, yours. Yeah. I know which one yours was. Yeah, yours is definitely. Don't you worry. Yours is going to inspire people 1,000%. I haven't joined your world. I was looking at on Discord. I was like, I think you sent me pictures. I was like, yours absolutely is going to inspire people. It's good. It's really good. And I've only seen the pictures. I haven't joined your world yet, so I'm really excited. But yours will be next week. You'll probably be up third next week. I think I'm going to call it here. It's going to be way past 11 with how long I've been taking to do these. So I'm going to call it here on the base tours for the night. Little slower. We got through 5, but man, I spent a lot of time because you guys were doing really awesome stuff. So we will be back next Tuesday with more tours. If you are not part of the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. If you want your base reviewed on a future Tour Tuesday, make sure to DM me on Discord, or even just in the TimberBuilds Discord in one of the chats. You can send me your Xbox username there, and I'll get you added to the list and as a friend on Xbox. Once again, thank you everyone for letting me see these bases and show them off to the community. Just every week, I think there's literally no way that we can. Just every week, I think there's no way that we can do better than the last week's designs. And every week I'm proven wrong. Every week, literally every single week, there is something incredible and new that we've never seen before, that is so impressive, that is so unique and new. Like everyone's bases have something so interesting to see, something that gets me excited about building. And that's the whole point of it, is to show off cool stuff and let you guys show your guys' hard work off to the whole community, because I know everyone here appreciates it. That's probably the best part about this community, is you guys are all so supportive and helpful, and you guys all love each other's designs, and we all get to work together and create more interesting designs, better stuff every time. So it's been really fun. So I really appreciate you guys letting me do. And as well, we will be back tomorrow and Thursday. We're going to be playing Enshrouded. Again, if you haven't seen Enshrouded before, incredible survival base game. Absolutely. The building system is great. and as cool and unique as Grounded's like aesthetics and build system is in general, Enshrouded is like the adult version of Minecraft. It is everything a Minecraft player really hoped and wished was in the game. It's a much more elevated design, and the detail work that you can do it is freaking insane. And they added voxel water to the game as well just this last week in their newest update. So we're going to be showing off some of our builds tomorrow. I'm going to be continuing my cathedral design, as well as the crazy story thing, building out a village and a city, and this crazy like design thing that's in my head. So if you're interested in more build stuff, come back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday and Thursday, and we will be back next Tuesday as well in Grounded doing more Tour Tuesdays. But other than that, thank you again. Appreciate everyone, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Peace.